Look at this guy. You must be working up. Hello. Hey, everyone.
You all?
Welcome to another great episode of the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Conrad here.
Dylan.
Hilton. George.
And we're Paul-less today.
Yeah,
Paul is...
taking a week off. He's really down that the Aggies lost last week.
But it was a great game. It was an entertaining game. I have to give you credit. Lost.
Be a little more entertaining for Aggies fans if they won, but you can't win them all. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing this week. What are we smoking on, gentlemen?
Thanksgiving. I'm smoking on a Taste of Havana.
I can put it over here.
Cuban Rounds. It's a very high-end cigar.
July.
You can, I think you can get like a 3-pack for about $4.
It's not $4,000, people. It's $4.
4,000 pesos.
Sounds 20 reals.
For Rubio, like
These are nice in Brazil.
The Russian currency, which is going down crazily the past 5 days.
Yeah.
Over 10%. They lost more than 10% of the value.
Damn.
So probably.
Is that your stock advice of the week? Invest in Russia?
No, the opposite. Like whatever you have it, the stock market was 11%. It was 11% today. Down.
Really?
Down 11% down today.
Didn't it just go up a lot though, like the Dow?
It's.
I thought we were talking about the cigars. We're talking about stock market?
George Manson started talking about Russian cigars, so we had to...
Is there?
Did you sleep for a second?
I did.
Okay, just
Did
because we've been talking about Russia for 15 minutes, man.
I'm going to watch this back. I'm gonna watch this back and see.
What are you smoking there, Hilton?
I'm smoking a Oliva that it's a V, Oliva V, in a Lancero size.
How is it?
It doesn't have the band. Because I bought it unbanded. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like anything Oliva. I'm an Oliva fanboy,
Yeah.
but
I am too. Every time I try new one, I like it.
yeah.
Even the little Box Press G is really good. I've always liked the Series V, the Melania, but I like all of them.
That's a classic, right?
Yeah, I think the only other ones that I just consistently go back to is Aroma de Cuba and Fuentes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Those are good too.
This is a skinny Vilma.
Showed up to the camera.
It's an infused cigar. Bought it at Babalu. They have a partnership with this cigar makers, So it's infused, sweet, as we discussed it.
Smells really
It
good.
tastes and smells like, as you said, pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
So pretty decent for the price. And it's good quality.
How is it?
Donnie actually gave it to me.
Shout out, Donnie.
Yeah, shout out, Donnie.
But how is it smoking it?
It's good. I mean, the draw is pretty good. You don't have aftertaste, like it's very subtle.
Right.
The taste is pretty subtle.
Oh, cool.
It's very sweet, though.
Uh-huh.
If you don't like sweet, I don't recommend, but this one doesn't bother me at all.
Gotcha.
We had some other ones that were flavored wrappers that were pretty sweet. That
Very sweet.
they start off,
Conrad tried one and was like, woo.
couldn't do it.
I went to a diabetic coma.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When you get more than halfway
Thank
through,
you
it's
for being very graphic.
much more mellow.
Yeah,
And honest.
I got it.
honest.
Yeah.
What
I
are
was
you
worried about
smoking?
you.
I am smoking special number 2. I did smoke, I think last week, the creme brulee, which I love the creme brulee.
Did you like it?
Special number 2 just holds a special spot in my heart. So,
We were buying some tobaccos and we were like, he's gonna have special number 2. Let's not get special.
I
Or did
smoked
we
it all.
get it?
No, we got
Oh, we
a
did.
special number 2, and it was like, oh, let's get something
different.
else.
Was that the creme brulee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You liked it?
I love it. I love creme brulee. It's...
Have I had it before?
No, I had not had it before, but...
So that's all we thought. So
I
like
think there's a custard one that we done.
there's a
before.
custard one.
Yes. Isn't there a custard one up there?
No.
I don't think so.
Uh, But I smoked the creme brulee the other day with a cup of coffee.
Ooh,
In the morning. Ooh.
paired really well.
I know
Goofy.
Hilton is
Very good.
enjoys smoking cigar
With
in
coffee.
the morning, right? With coffee.
Haven't done it in a while. I'm prohibited to do that now
Four
in my
rosas.
house.
Quattro.
Because
La
My daughter went
cuatro rosas.
yeah, he smokes. I want to
Rosas,
smoke. And
yeah.
she's only 7. So, no cigars in my
No
house.
cigar. Fire up the pipe.
Well, she's gonna go like, he's smoking the pipe. I want the pipe. You know,
What
you
was
gotta
the
wait
problem?
until she's, older.
Lily's into the cigars now.
So why didn't you smoke anyway?
No, she
She's
wants
not at
to
home.
smoke.
Jesus.
But he's banished from smoking from home for the time being.
You know what I always forget?
And
Matches.
punished from.
Matches. Thank you. Let me try
I
this.
thought you said mattresses.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Hold on.
Gonna get loaded and have to stay the night.
It's a kind of mattress.
Because it's the constant moving of the thing. It's not working too
Try
well.
the other one, the big.
Yeah, I'm going to.
That's your.
Mike McCarthy fired. Please tell me that's what that says.
No, it's not. I don't know. Probably just a waiver report.
Damn it.
Well, it's Thanksgiving week, gentlemen. I hope everyone out there in YouTube land has a great Thanksgiving. I know I plan on it. Having family come over. Unfortunately, the wife has to work, so we'll be having a late dinner. But the family's coming over. I am, as I've mentioned before, last year, I'm not a turkey fan. And but I am a sides fan, so I'm going to be smoking brisket, big 10-pound, 12-pound brisket, and I have some picanha,
There you go.
and so I think that'll be a nice little combination between the two.
Let me see the list of food that we're gonna have. Hold
Sounds
on.
like your house is the place to be on Thanksgiving.
We are gonna have lamb, farofa, mayonnaise.
Is that the chickpea thing, the farofa?
It's the cassava flour thing.
Cassava flour?
Sawdust, basically sawdust.
You don't like it?
I'm not a farofa fan.
I want to try it. at some point.
Empadas, pork ribs,
It's
Delish.
a classic.
rice, and salad.
What about beans?
There's no beans over here.
They're adding some.
Hey, what kind of Brazilian Thanksgiving is this?
Rice, no beans. Come
Rice
on.
with no beans?
Come on.
Frankly, I'm gonna eat the ribs and the lamb. I don't care for the other stuff.
Get 2 do-dos.
So no ham or turkey for us.
There you go. What about you, George?
We haven't planned anything. I mean, took the week off. She's just resting, so we barely celebrate. I mean, the past year, like I think one of the first or second year here, celebrated friends, but since then, and I just let Tamiris do what Tamiris does, you know. So,
She whips it
all
up
of
in
a
the kitchen.
all of a sudden, she said, "Hey, let's go to New Orleans," and then we go to New Orleans, you know. So, just like what Tamiris does, and I kind of adapted to that. Even though I am
The
a people
spontaneity.
person, I think, you know, like, yeah, it's just that she doesn't commit much, and when she commits 100%. She's there, but she doesn't commit, and you know, so I just I'm there for her.
Right.
I'd say, especially those dates she never had when she was younger. Would never celebrate anything, so I try sometimes to, you know, to do some surprises and everything, but yeah, this is me.
That's nice.
Yeah, we got invited this year.
Was that?
We got invited this year to
You
go.
did?
Yeah, to go to juniors.
Oh, nice.
So then everybody brings a dish, and I'm bringing the ribs.
Everyone's gonna go home with a dish.
Yeah,
With 5
gonna be
different dishes
So
The
much
Brazilians
food.
and all the food
So,
is
so much
crazy.
food. It's unbelievable. Fine. But it's good.
You're gonna have
though.
to show up with like to-go containers.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna bring containers.
It's not a bad idea,
please
right?
That's what we
have
did for
us.
my birthday. What we did for my birthday, everyone left home with a container of food.
Yeah, I
Because
did.
it was like, it's too much stuff. My refrigerator will not fit them.
Good. That food was really good.
Yeah.
Should have birthdays more often.
Trying to. It's just not socially accepted to have,
5 a year,
Yeah.
1 a month.
Just gotta make excuses at that point. Just be like, yeah.
You can do.
You gotta find a reason to celebrate the little things in
You
life.
can do it just like the government, just make up a date.
Yeah. It's
Whatever. Yes, let's celebrate.
I'm saying
Yeah.
like, you can
National
do.
Conrad Day.
You can
National
do-
Conrad Day.
And only with K's.
It's
Conrad
gonna be
with
in
K's.
May,
Oh,
because
yeah.
your birthday is in November, so you do it in May, so 6 months from there.
No,
So
but
you're
that's
spread out.
actually true. I mean, you can do your birthday, and then you can do not the birthday, but you can do a K name day,
Yeah.
right? And then you go and celebrate, and then you can do you can do the first time that I saw you, my lady day,
Yeah.
right? And then 2 others, just make up something.
I don't know why I'm not doing that. I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing this.
See, yeah, and for us it's even better because Labor Day for us is in May 1st. Valentine's Day is June 14th, so I have 2 Valentine's Days and 2 Valentine's Days and 2 Labor Days.
Days.
I think here is like October 2nd or something.
Labor Day?
Yeah, Labor-
it just happened not too long ago.
September 2nd or October 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
September.
September 2nd, yeah.
Thank you.
Mother's Day also happens in 2.
And
It's
Father's
May,
Day too, right?
My Mother's Day is May, right?
Usually May and
May.
Father's Day is in
It's-
June.
And for us, it's
Okay,
August.
that's right.
Mother's Day is the same weekend, but Father's Day for us is August.
That's
yes.
June.
So
For us.
so you can get to celebrate Father's Day twice.
Unfortunately, we've had that discussion in the house. I only get to celebrate one, either American or Brazilian, but I get to only celebrate one those days.
Oh.
But
What Tamir and I do, we celebrate when we are in America. We celebrate on Brazilian days. When we're in Brazil, we celebrate American days because the restaurants are so packed and so more expensive.
Oh,
and
very
so
true.
bad service.
Yeah.
So just go in the other day and celebrate, and it's done.
It's not a bad idea.
But sometimes I feel needy. So when I feel needy, that's like, okay, I need Father's Day to come early this year.
Yeah.
So I'll
Exactly.
do that.
You can play in your favor.
Yeah.
So Mother's
exactly.
Day is the same?
I'm
yeah,
not
it's
sure,
pretty much on the
second
same weekend. Yeah.
Second weekend of May, I think,
Is that
or
why?
something.
If she only has one Mother's Day, you can't get 2 Father's Day. It's only right.
Hey, I don't
get
make
that.
the rules.
I'm
I'm not, I'm not Elon Musk, and I can't make everything efficient. Sometimes you just have to celebrate 2 for me.
By the way, we did not
Dodie,
send the links out, did we?
Department of Holiday Efficiency.
We haven't been
Department.
efficient.
Yeah, we haven't done the links out.
Oh.
I did.
You did.
Uh-oh. I did not pay attention. I did not see
I didn't put it in the chat though. I just sent it to a couple of the old buds.
You mind doing that or sending it to me?
As one.
I got it. Share.
Whatever. Rodrigo.
Fala, meu amigo. Beleza.
There we go.
Manda os links aí, Rodrigo. Manda os links aí pra galera.
Hey, Rodrigo, I'm here too. Oi, tudo bem?
Mike.
Hola.
Beleza.
Yeah, it's cool, Rodrigo. Appreciate it. Hilton, George, and Dylan.
Yeah, I did not put Conrad.
Oh man, he was just saying he was feeling needy.
Yeah.
Caralho.
What's?
That was funny. He's sent the link out to people.
Appreciate it. Doing the Lord's work.
It's rich.
What is it? Já postei, huh?
Oh, we need to ask Paul for his picks.
I'll text him. Usually, he's in College Station already. I'm sure.
There's probably 15 alcoholic beverages in.
Yeah, 2 bottles of bourbon down. Popping open their third.
Well, I thought it would be interesting to talk about. I know, ironically enough, George messaged me, and I had just talked to Camila about this same exact topic, and George just randomly messaged me and was like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" Irrational fears, irrational or rational fears
Yes.
that people have.
What is that? When something's gonna happen, they go to the supermarket and buy everything?
So why did you actually start talking? Yeah. So why did you actually start? Just to contextualize for him.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, so Mila had bought this skin product thing where you're supposed to put it on your face, and when you first put it on, it gives you a shock.
Yes.
So like electromagnetic shock thing. And Camila, to this, I mean, ever since I've known her, she's always been afraid of shock. And she will always talk about how the time Hilton took off his jacket and gave Camila a hug and shocked her.
Yes.
And she's like, I
Static.
am deathly, like, she was like, she put it to herself, it shocked her. She goes, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And I put it on my face or my skin or something. It's supposed to, I don't know,
Stimulate.
Moisturize
something.
and
Yeah,
stimulate.
you're going to be 15 years
Blood flow
younger.
or something.
Yeah.
So I did it and I was like, oh shit, it kind of shocks you at first, but then you just keep rubbing and then it's gone.
It's all
And I
good.
told her, like, it just shocks one time, but she was like, nope, I can't do it. Like, I feel nauseous. I feel sick. I will not. I hate getting shocked, and it's like a panic. We go to the supermarket. She's always opening up like the doors with her phone, or she will like lather up her hands with lotion. And I'm just like, what a weird fear that you have.
Do you understand why I wanted him to explain? Because I remember that. So this is when he mentions this is irrational fear, is that it affects the person in a way that we don't know. Like it doesn't.
We don't
even
comprehend.
sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't comprehend why.
Yes. So George and I were talking about it, and in your example?
In my example was like, okay,
dog.
Jim and I were sitting, and then there's this guy, like you've been to Smoker's Abbey, right? So he was just holding right at the door, talking to us, and then all of a sudden, a friend of us came like pushing the guy, and I knew something was going on because this guy's super polite, and then I remember, oh, there's a dog sitting in the entry,
He's afraid of dogs.
No, he's not afraid of dog, man. He was white. He was a ghost. How afraid he was. And then I stopped the dog. He asked me to escort him out of the place because the dog was sleeping in the corner. And in a way that, and then he was just telling us like he's so afraid of that.
Did he have a bad experience with a dog? At one point in
Yes,
his life?
he mentions. Yeah, he was from. I don't want to mention his name, because some people feel ashamed about that. I told him.
Yeah.
I told him. I don't think this is. You should be ashamed of that. It's like
Right.
someone going in an airplane and hold your hand.
Yeah.
It's a trauma behind. So answering your question is like a trauma that generate a fear that comes from a trauma or, feels like a trauma.
Right.
Like a big trauma, right?
So, Mila and I were also discussing, because after I mentioned to her that you had just randomly brought that up, and we were talking more about this, she was telling us about one of our friends that we all know who has a fear of when people start throwing up or even making the noise of throwing up.
Oh, I've seen those videos on the internet. People go like, and then,
To that point, but she will leave. She will not come back and interact with that person until she's actually gone to the hospital and admitted herself to being like, I do not feel good because I overheard someone throwing up. And it's like a real thing where if just somebody's
biological,
like coughing or just doing like this, she'll start getting tense. Like, is something going to happen? Situation, and we've asked before, and she was like, no, it's just how I've always been. Like, I've always been traumatized. I've always been, felt like something bad was going to happen by listening to that noise. So,
The stuff, it's what's in our food.
RFK.
I'm serious. I bet just the crap, the chemicals, the plastic, all this stuff, anxiety and medication for those types of things are at an all-time high. And I think there's probably a combination of the two, but like my grandparents, when they were kids, and teenagers they were around, were not prescribed medication for anxiety, and they couldn't interact with people because they were all like this. Maybe some kids might have needed that at the time. I don't know. They just didn't talk about it. But that anxiety, like people on medication for anxiety, is like at an all-time high. Everybody is on stuff, and I think it has to do with the stuff that we're putting in our bodies. And sometimes that turns into irrational fears.
What was the psychological illness that people? We call it the illness of the century now. It's not anxiety. The other one, Depression.
Oh yeah.
Depression now is the what they call the illness of the century or something.
Illness
like
of the
that.
century. Interesting.
Yep.
Because everybody has a little bit of depression, and then it's being more diagnosed and more talked
More
about.
prevalent. Yeah. I'm not going to say that all of these irrational fears are completely due to that. I just think you're going to see more of this. People that are afraid of stuff that other people are like, that doesn't make sense. But people have weird anxiety about certain things. I think I was watching a podcast one time, but some guy is like deathly afraid of sharks. And he was like in a hotel on like the 15th floor, but he can't sleep to the sound of water because he thinks a shark is gonna get him.
And I would
Just
bring
little things like that.
I'm not.
I would bring that. It all depends on what we consider trauma, what we consider, because sometimes you're not a fan of something,
Sure.
but you are very vocal about that. So people will think that you are afraid of that, but actually, just you don't like it.
You don't like it.
Yeah, or you avoid it. On the other hand, other people go there. Other people, they feel it's deep, and they just hide. You don't know. So when they're exposed, they are super exposed because they don't share about
They don't
that.
show it, yeah.
Someone who is an introvert, for example,
Sure.
or shy or introvert, like.
But
So
also, even that is like you could not be vocal about it and it catches you off guard, you're exposed, but it doesn't have to be like, this bothers me so much, I need to go to the hospital. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really like horror movies and scary movies, it's just not my thing. But also, if I watch one, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to be sick and nauseous, I need to go to the hospital. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't like it. It's not my thing.
Yeah,
But that's not like...
the levels, huh?
But because I believe people when they say when it affects your body that way and your body's like rejecting whatever's happening, it's forcing you to feel nauseous. Like there is something going on, and there's a chemical imbalance in the brain that causes you to feel that way.
For example, right? So it has to do also how much expectation you have about a certain event. I think if you think about one of the most common fears of all is speaking in public.
Yeah.
right? Speaking
It's
public.
the second biggest.
Yeah, right.
Public
Behind
speaking.
heights.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, airplane flying too. Yeah, flying is also another one. But I was just mentioning. So think about that. If you were exposed when you're a kid, you don't even know about that. No, it's always been good. But actually, how much do you remember 4 or 5 years when you're 4 and 5? I remember bits here and there, but I don't remember the 729 days. You know.
And it's so funny you say that because I was just recalling when I was probably 4 years old because I was still living up in Washington State, and I was in my mom and dad's bedroom. We were watching 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the old Disney, like from like the 40s or 50s. And there was a scene where they get out of the submarine and he's in like a scuba thing, and there's a shark that approaches him. And I remember I was sitting on the floor in the front because like the TV was on a dresser up top, sitting on the floor looking at it. My back to the bed, and I get up to go like, I don't like this, and everyone was gone, and I didn't pay attention because I was so focused on the movie, and I just go, everyone's gone. There's a shark on the TV, and I remember like
freaked out,
slamming that door open and being like, screaming because there was a shark on the TV. And from then on, I've always had like some type of weirdness about oceans because I always have this irrational fear of like there's a shark that's going to get me. I'm not to the point where I can't listen to water, but I've gone to the, I mean, even when I was in the Marine Corps, I had my gunny who's like, hey, come on, we're going to go swim in the ocean for like exercise. And yeah, cool. We were texting each other all night. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Wake up first thing in the morning. As soon as I got there and I looked at the water, it's overcast and dark, and I go, "There's a shark waiting there and being like, Conrad's fat ass is gonna come right over me, and I'm gonna snag him." I'm going, nope, sorry, I'm not doing it.
That's
why we go to the beach and all we do is smoke cigars
and drink
beach.
and sit on the beach.
Yeah, and then we see the ocean.
Oh, so you won't swim in the beach at all?
I will get to.
No, he did go, but it's like the little, shallow water there.
And it's not a thing, you know, like, right? Some people go to the beach and getting to the sea, it's a thing. I mean, you go there,
within reason.
You agree? Like, if I go, I will get in. You know, like it's me.
I don't just get in like like I go out and swim to where I can't touch anymore, but I'm not like swimming far out.
No.
Just because I don't want to
just
fight the
get
current,
in, you know.
Yeah.
Just get in.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Some other people,
especially that close to the shore.
Yeah.
There are times that we just went to Florida, right? Not too long ago over the summer break, and there had been a lot of shark attacks in the exact area where we were going.
South Padre Island, that lady's leg got ripped off, and she was in knee depth water.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Most of the time, they don't come up that far, but it does happen. It's not like it never happens.
Came right up and ripped her leg off.
We have family members sending us all this stuff. Like, y'all aren't
not going there.
You're not still going, are you? Like, no, we're still going to go. But I was more worried about like jellyfish than I was about sharks. Jellyfish will sneak up on you, and they're pretty. It looks like gel in the water. You don't see
jellyfish. God,
what are you doing?
Please God, Alice or Lily, jellyfish God.
They'll mess you up.
That's why we now go to that beach that we like this year we didn't, but that's why we go to that place because that place doesn't have any jellyfish, you know. But just like 20 miles west, you get jellyfish.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's a little
probably like
sea
current
or something. Yeah. Carries them like up and then back towards the Gulf and then back
you know,
down.
like some fears are more. At least, see, this is hard to say because
more rational,
but
I see where you're going.
But you know, like, because it depends on where you are in the spectrum, you know, like or fears, you know, like.
Right.
But
and for men too, fear is associated of feminine.
Sure,
a lot of feminine.
It's
you know?
a weakness.
It's a weakness. So you know, so that's why I prefer never mentioning the name of people because I don't know how people will react to that. For example, dark waters. Have you seen that a lot of people are really afraid of dark waters? Like if you go to a river and if you can't see the bottom, they never get in. Man, but it's like, man, you hold the person doesn't get in. You're
They're
pushing. Tense. Like big guys, you know?
And most of the time,
That'd be me.
Is it like dark? Yeah?
Dark what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
Just
river.
No, rivers I know because
Lakes.
I'm like, okay, lakes. Lakes I'll be like, dude, there's ancient frozen shark creatures from prehistoric times that live under there. Like,
Piranhas.
I know it. Yeah. I saw that movie. They live in Lake Havasu. They're gonna come and grab me. You know?
yeah. Well, I think at a different stage in life, it's like fun. Like your buddy's afraid, you want to push him in the water. But like where I'm at in life now, it's like someone's that tense about it. You just leave them alone. You know?
Oh my God!
It's
Yeah.
not worth the trouble because people will not forgive you for that sort of thing. Like as an adult, you keep pushing them past the point that they want to be pushed. It's really not funny for that person, you know?
I think if I had this, I would calmly say, "Hey, listen,
You're good.
I won't respond.
I won't respect you.
I won't respond for my actions if you do that. You know, I have this trauma. It's okay. I understand.
No.
You guys think it's funny, but the vengeance will be very sweet
That's a nice way
and
of
very
saying it.
disproportional. It's gonna be completely disproportional. Believe me.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay.
We can go that route.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I don't want to go there, but I can play this game.
You can get me in that water. Kudos on you, because I promise you, you're going to catch a couple things before we get to that water.
So, and I think that's where my primitive brain, I can override it sometimes. Because if somebody was like, dude, we're just going to go swim right here, there's nothing that's going to grab you. Like, I can override that fear and be like, if I get pressured enough, like, shit, we're going to hang underneath a helicopter and go fly. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. If I have enough people that are like, come on, don't be a pussy. And I'll be like, I can't be. But there's a point, there's like, you got
See
to.
that?
So,
It's pressure.
peer pressure.
Social pressure.
Peer pressure.
Social and peer pressure
Yeah.
to certain situations. But there's also other situations where peer pressure has happened, like that time that they wanted to go swimming and they're like, come on, Shubak, you got to go swim. You got to go. Like, all of us are going. And I just went, no, I'm not going to. So I think for me personally, I have a really unspoken intuitive mind where I'll let the peer pressure get to me and then I end up having fun. Like I silence
Block it out.
I block it out and I'll be like, okay, whatever. But then there's other times where I'm like, dude, I just have a feeling and I'm gonna just respect that inner voice that's like, you're gonna get hurt, something's gonna happen, don't do it.
To some degree, though, I think if something takes you to a like fight or flight feeling, it's really hard to come back from that.
Exactly.
So if you can block it out beforehand, you're all right. But if you're already at the point where like it's really hard to get past that.
You see, I think I was 7 years old. I was jumping in this playground, and there's this, there's the squares made of iron. Like you go here and hang.
Like monkey bars, but
Yeah,
squares.
like a monkey bar. Yeah, like that. And then I jumped from where I was, in a rock to grab that, and someone moved that, and I hit my nose right into the iron. And then since then, I'm a little bit afraid of any sport that involves speed, that involves like a possible contact that I can hurt my head.
Really?
Like skateboard. I've always been scared.
People say that.
Bicycle, skateboard. Man, it was hard for me to get into this motorized what do you call it? Scooters. Like in the beginning,
Sure.
it took me a while. For me, it's just like get in it and get on, and then even if she falls, she doesn't care. I think if I fall, I'm gonna hit my head. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, and people
Surfboards.
say if you felt like what it feels like getting punched in the nose, right?
You wouldn't want to get into a fight.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because it gives you a little bit of a trauma. I think what I'm scared of, I was trying to think about it, because like height, I go to like let's say a theme park. You know those, they have like those huge elevators things that they go like all the way up and then they drop.
Yeah.
when it gets to that point when it stops up there, I'm looking, I'm all feeling good, and then it stops up there, and then I do like this, I swing my feet, and then I feel that adrenaline's like, oh, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Know what I mean? But I'm not afraid to get in there. You know what I mean? I don't have that block to go like, I'm gonna feel that. And then like, oh, I'm afraid right now. I feel afraid. And it's like, it's weird. I feel afraid. But getting into fights, I never did. That's probably why I'm a very confrontational person, and I use soft language or whatever it's called.
Soft skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I'm good at talking to people, and they some people get you some
Irritated.
critique or whatever. They're angry about something that happened, and I'm very good at it because I go like, no, just what if we did this and that. You know what I mean? And then I sometimes go like, well, but what happens is, and then I throw that on their face. It's like, hey, this is just a reflection of what happened, and this is what happened. And then Dylan looks at me
You're just
like,
telling a story.
yeah, and Dylan looks at me and is like, how did you do that? I was like, you know what I mean? Because I don't like fights. You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
I was gonna say is like it's the beauty of hanging out around people that have different talents or different things that they excel at, and then it can rub off on you, but you pick up little things. Like I had a customer today that I had a phone call with that was very frustrated. And I got off the phone call and I looked at Hilton and I started laughing a little bit. Like not laughing at the situation, not at the person, but it's like, he's not happy, but what am I going to do about it? At least I'm going to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And then I called him back. It wasn't probably what anybody wanted, but it's like, it's going to happen.
We are running really thin because one of our crew guys got a van stolen and all the tools. So we have 2 crews to do work of 3.
Yeah.
So
Now you're down to 1.
We cannot make everybody happy right now until he is fully operational again. He's almost there.
It'd
But
be
next week he's gonna be back. But
like the equivalent of this person's unhappy, this job's going good. I'll pull him off this job to make this person happy. Now this person's unhappy.
Yeah.
Make 2 people
So
happy.
it's kind of like this ship has already sailed. I can't catch up to it. Let's get these ones done properly, and I'll fix that when I can within my means. But why sabotage everything because one's not going right?
which
Assume the
that
loss
is
and
that
that's it.
is it's not even a loss, but that is something. It's a concept that Elon Musk even talks about it, and it's like sometimes you gotta let some fires burn.
But it's a loss, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to carry the ember of one fire and start another
Start
fire.
another one.
Yeah.
Let that
That's
fire
interesting.
burn itself
yeah.
out. Keep this from catching on fire.
Yeah.
Got already caught on fire. If I have the means to put the fire out, I will. But if it means I'm bringing some of it over here,
You should mitigate one fire by the fire means, not by bringing fire to another situation. So it's like sometimes you try to mitigate, and then you go like, well, the very best solution that we have right now is this. What can we do about it?
which
And then-
that sounds obvious, but when you're in like a customer service
You
industry,
overthink.
your first instinct is always, what can I do to solve this problem? What can I do to make this customer happy? But sometimes that comes at the expense of other things you have going on. It's not worth it.
And that's the difference between the strategy and the tactics, right? So if you have an idea on the target, if you understand what your company is, you know that not solving both and causing 2 problems might jeopardize the whole operation.
Right.
You know, like, okay, that's a lamb. Okay, so this,
I
you
guess
know,
sacrifice
I'm an
it.
amphibian. I can grow another limb later. You sacrifice a limb because you can grow it back. Of course, if you can't
and you
grow
can
back,
explain the situation, and if the person understands the situation, they
You can
understand.
try, right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't take, it doesn't take. But that doesn't mean you screw something else up.
Right.
Because what has happened has already happened. So try everything you can to fix it, but not when you're jeopardizing other stuff you have going on, and that's all. Yeah, just from hanging out with Hilton and his expertise of de-escalating situations,
Soft skills. Yeah.
by speaking calmly, but then also not avoiding the problem. It's very direct. We're not avoiding the issue. We're talking about the issue, and it gets there. And so I'm still not like an expert at that by any means, but I can sit there in a conversation, and my first instinct is always like, I want that person to leave the conversation happy. Now I'm like, I'm going to solve this, but it's not going to be today. It's going to have to be next week.
Yeah.
And they're mad, and then I hang up. I'm like, that was one of those tough ones. You know,
Yeah.
but it is what it is, and you gotta just.
It does get funny. It doesn't get funny because the person is in a bad situation, like the customers are bad. It's
That's
funny.
not what is funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because there is nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Some things are out of our control. Yes, could we have, and we do. I do have more people that I can go and fish from. But at the same time, I go like, if I put that other person over there,
Might make things worse.
it's not gonna resolve the problem because the upset is already established.
Yeah.
And I have to have a very good guy, finishing up that job. If I put somebody that's gonna be just an okay job, it's not gonna solve the problem. It's gonna make it even worse. So it's for the good of that customer that is feeling bad right now is actually to wait for our best guy to get back to that job. You know what I mean?
Which is
Something
hard
like
to
that.
understand, but yeah, it's like, because especially when it comes out of timing, like, I need something now, like, trust me, what the product, the result you're going to get now, you're going to be upset, we're going to redo it, versus wait the however much time to get the right person on the job, which nobody wants to hear, but that's the nature of
they're going to be unhappy for 2 years. And then they're going to get accustomed to it. And then unless be unhappy now for a day.
Yeah.
And then now you're going to be pleased with the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, in real estate here, things are attached to, like if you get a mortgage, if you want to rent, if you want to sell it, things are very tight. In order to be more, let's say, efficient, right?
Sure.
And then sometimes what it's not as important for us might be super important. The client is going to have to pay $1,000, $2,000 more, and maybe the person doesn't bring that up to the topic. And then, of course, the person's going to be upset.
Well, we had a situation on that, George, which is a...
Sensitive.
We start, no, that one. We start a job. That one was all right. We start a job.
It's a similar.
Yeah. And then on a Friday,
It's not a unique
the
situation.
daughter of our installer just gets a car problem on the highway. And she's panicking.
Like towards San Marcos.
Yeah. So what is the father going to do? Forget about the job. I'm going to go and rescue my daughter.
Yeah.
So we had...
Human reaction.
Yeah. So, and then we had we cannot put anybody there because it was busy times.
Yeah.
And then we literally had nobody. And then we said, we will finish your job on Monday. And then that Friday, and then she started freaking out. She started crying. And the thing was, she did not want to spend her mother's birthday on her house because her mother had just passed away 7 months ago. She was like, I gotta have this floor done so that I can lock up my house and then go and spend time with my sister because it's mom's birthday and I do not want to be here because my mom lived in here with me.
She's living with her, yeah.
And then she cried that Friday. But we got back there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and we finished the job.
Yeah.
We did a kick-ass job of the actual work itself.
Was she satisfied?
On a Thursday, because we we let her
Yeah.
rest because on Friday she was gonna travel. So on a Wednesday she was traveling. She was gonna travel on Thursday. So we went back on Wednesday to check on her, and the job had been completed by for 2 days. And then she was like, "No, I like the work that they did, but I'm not referring you guys to this friend of mine because this and that."
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, at least you got the job done at the timeline that you needed, and the job is perfect. And then it's like, is there anything job related, like with the floor installed that you got, that you would be complaining about? She's like, no, it looks amazing, looks perfect, and all the cuts are brilliant. And thank you for that. But I got really stressed out, and then I said, like, I do understand that, and then and I know that your situation is different than anybody else, and I wish you safe travels, and yes, so you don't have to refer us. It's all good, but if you need anything, we are here for you. We are not a company that will not be standing by our word. And then, like, thank you very much, and then we left, and she paid everything, fine.
Yeah.
So that was a situation where it was like almost in our side, like we could not understand why she was reacting that way. But at the same time, Dylan and I discussed, like, she is afraid of these, dragging on to the day that she cannot meet her travel day.
Right.
And then, so.
Vast majority of problems for us, it's not that it happens frequently, because it really doesn't, but the only time there's really problems is only when it comes down to scheduling stuff. It's never really the quality of the work, but it's because you're dealing with human beings that
Life
have
happens.
lives and wives and kids and families, and things happen. The same thing as things happen to you and I. You could show up to a Formula One, to the Prost, get a flat tire, not gonna make it on time. That could happen to my installer, but when you tell someone that,
Don't forget your shoes.
could forget your shoes, you come barefoot. But anytime it's service related, people always, for whatever reason, especially here in the States, they just think you're lying. And, oh, he messed something up, he didn't schedule it right, now they're making up some BS while the guy's not there. And I can't control your perception of what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you what happened.
Has it changed? Do you think, like 50 years ago, you're good to a word, like, and then people would do, and then maybe we have this memory, because think about that. This city is growing so fast.
That's a good question, and I know how to answer that.
Yeah,
I have
do you
speculation.
understand what I'm saying? Like, because the city is growing is growing too fast,
Yeah.
and then you don't have enough people working here. Like we don't have a reality of the rest of
Quality.
the United States.
Yeah.
We don't have that because like here it's always growing, right? So it's hard to maintain. So you said you had the right answer.
Yes, the thing is, back in the days, communication was difficult. If somebody did not show, right, for a job or anything that they would have to do, the person expecting that person to arrive would think, oh, something happened.
There's no
Right.
cell phones.
That's
Exactly.
a good point, because I can expand on that.
Because something happened and then the person could not make it over here, and then next day the person shows up, and what happened yesterday? Well, I was in a car crash. And then it's like, okay, so today communication it's widely available.
Yeah.
So like having a quick conversation, that's the thing also that sometimes it lacks with our crews, is like you send a text message, they never answer. So what I did today, and then in the car, and it's like, you know what? Because I let I always leave Dylan to try and do something. It's like, now I'm gonna interfere a little bit. So what I did, I called the installer himself. Oh, he's doing like a manly cut.
Sylvester Stallone.
So, and then I
Not
picked
even
up.
lighting it, just
No.
smoking it without a light.
And then I picked up the phone and I called the installer, which is something that Dylan cannot do because the guy speaks Spanish only, right? His English is very poor.
I think.
And then I was like,
think you'd manage that.
And then I was like,
figure it out.
and then I'm talking, with the guy in Spanish. Hey, what's gonna happen? It's like, Hilton, I have to finish this, I have to finish that, and then I can go back there. And it's like, okay, so now we know everything is gonna happen because that's the thing. We just wait for. Sometimes people do not communicate.
What's the most interesting about that is my Spanish is to the point where I can listen and understand maybe half, maybe a little more than half, but remembering the words and forming the sentences, because I don't practice it at all, is where I struggle. But he was talking to him through the car. There was no
I was struggling a little.
but there was no translation. And Hilton looks over and he goes, "Is that good?" I knew what the guy was saying. I could understand it,
No, Dylan can understand, yeah.
You couldn't express yourself in a way you express in English.
I can do a little bit better because I do Portuguese and I already remember a lot of Spanish words. And the way we form the sentences are pretty much the same. So, and then I call, like, I don't know how to say this, but this is what I'm trying to say. And so like, okay, this is that. And I thought, yes, exactly. So.
But he's like, well, we were on this job, I gotta do this one, and then, yeah, I can't get to that today, but I could go tomorrow. He's like, is that gonna, but it's all in Spanish, right? Is that gonna work? He's like, no, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, Like, okay, let me go back. What about Friday or Monday and all these, and I know all of those words. I know what he's saying, but
I don't say he knows, and I don't. What is viernes? And I don't know
that part
viernes
viernes. I
is.
was like, no, that's Friday.
Is viernes Friday? Yes, okay.
I was about to say, like, Viernes Negro, this is Black Friday, so I knew exactly what day Viernes was, but I don't speak. I can say, hi, how are you? Here's my, but when he's like, I have this, and you know this, and certain verbs, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that word. I haven't heard that in forever, but I know what that means. But it's funny because I understand most of it, but I can't speak it.
But that's what it is. Today, it's like somebody doesn't show up. They go like, why?
Right.
Why are you not communicating with me? Because it's easy to communicate. And that's where the frustration comes from. Because now you are lying. Because you're like, no, I'm sending them because that's the information that we got.
One aspect
yeah.
of it.
And there's a lot of lost in translation too. For example,
That is true.
If it's urgent, seriously, just call me. If it's urgent, I expect George. Oh, you see, it's ice or something like I'm coming here, right? At work, something urgent. I even instruct all my customers. Look, I start the communication. Look, if it's urgent, you're gonna call me. Expect 24 hours for me to answer on WhatsApp. You understand? Because the person is 24/7 in what's on WhatsApp.
But that's good though, because you're creating expectations, like proper expectations for your clients. Yeah.
And then you always you go beyond the expectation because you answer faster. But you say, hey, a text, I'm gonna answer in 1 or 2 hours because I have commitments one after the other. So if it's urgent, you're gonna call. If you call me and it's not urgent, next time I'll think twice before I answer your phone.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot about but I told you via whatever. Man, the phone. Think about that. Someone who does more physical activities, and then the company doesn't allow them to use phones, so they will spend 2-3 hours without looking at the phone.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you align with your client and with your peers, whatever level of communication, or how do you see? If you had called me, I would have answered. I would have fixed it right away.
Yeah.
It's about efficiency in this case.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we need like prices on products right away, and it's like, let's send a text, and we know the reps that will text back quickly, and then we know the ones that wouldn't. But then it was still like give them a little bit of a time because
give them an opportunity. I'll text.
They could be on and then we wait like 10 minutes,
30 minutes, yeah.
And then we're like, okay, so let me call because we need to send this quote out. Because what loses your jobs is not sending the quote out. So.
What was the original question that we were talking about that brought up the communication?
No, it's before, like...
I mean, the irrational and
50
irrational
and
fears.
60s.
Not that one.
No, in the 50s and 60s, if that increased now.
The 80s.
Chat disconnected.
Oh, successfully connected. Yeah, that's weird. Disconnected and reconnected. Where I was gonna go with it is like that one aspect of it is for sure the immediate availability to contact someone nowadays. But where my brain went to answer that question, if it's always been that way, is like if you think like the 60s and the 70s, people would leave and go to work and leave their doors unlocked. They would leave their cars unlocked.
There were no con artists.
People felt
There were, but
but people
Well,
were
not as many.
Right.
you get burned, you stop touching the stove. So you stop trusting, you know? I think people were more trusting in general. Someone tells you something like, oh, okay, you get burned too many times, and nowadays it's like, you go to the grocery store, I'm locking my car. Everyone always has a guard up on defense all the time. So the first instinct when I tell you something and it doesn't add up in their brain, like, well, he's lying. That's kind of what I think, you know? On top of the fact that we have that disconnect with communication with our crews sometimes, but not with the customer. The customer calls me, I'm going to answer.
Yeah.
And then I'll call back, look, I don't have an answer for you yet. They haven't called me back, but I'm calling you to let you know that I'm not just not working on it. I am working on it. I just don't have an answer for you yet. And they go, okay, well, it sounds like so-and-so is just lying and didn't want to work today. Like, well, I can see how you might feel that way, but I work with these guys day in, day out for years. They don't do this, and you just have to trust me. You've never done work with me before, so you have to trust that I'm being honest. And that's kind of I think people don't trust as much nowadays.
And I think it's a big conflict also, and you have to say, it's gonna be done in 36 hours. And if the job is complex, of course you gotta put this variable into the calculation, right?
Timeline.
But it's still, it's so uncertain. Jobs are so uncertain that I think we sometimes, I'm not saying that's your case, but it happens with me. I over and underestimate like lots of translations I did, for Portuguese, Spanish, and English, translations. I would, some jobs are pretty tough. Like it was a folder describing cranes and 38 different types of cranes.
Sure.
I have to study the content before I translate.
Yeah.
I didn't count on that. So think about, it was like 20, 30 hours I worked for free because I needed to understand the 38 types of cranes.
Right.
Well, it's kind of my fault, so I haven't predicted the way it was supposed to be.
It's an oversight, right? But it's easy. That's more of a complex one. It could be as simple as, hey, babe, what time are you going to be home today? Like, well, I've got this appointment at 4. I should be back to the office by 5:30. I'll be home by 6:30, and then anything throughout the entire day happens. Now I'm home at 7. I thought you said 6:30. What happened? Why is it 7? Where were you? Well, things happen. And in our business, it's renovation and construction.
Yes.
There is a rough timeline that I expect something to take, but I pull something up, I don't know what I'm going to find.
But how much do you factor? How can you anticipate and factor in the price and time?
The other job that the Sun City one that Dylan's talking about, just mentioned, and then it's like we knew that the quantity of job, it could potentially be a 3-day job, and then because to be on a safe side, customers ask, and like, it's 4 to 5 days. It could be 4, it could be 5. We'll do our best to try 4, but it could run to 5. It took 6.
Right.
And then she was like, I spent 2 extra days in the hotel. No, it was 1 extra day. I spent 2 extra days in the hotel. And such. Is like, how much was the hotel?
Well, and they asked too. Again, it's the same with the other customer. We liked the work was great.
Yeah.
I can't complain about anything except for the timeline of it all, and we had to spend extra money that we weren't expecting to spend.
The baseboard took 1 full day to remove.
Full day. Yeah.
All the nails are rusted. And then something that would normally take 2 hours took 8.
Yeah.
And then it delayed the project quite a bit, and then it took 5 days instead of the 3 that the guy thought they would do, and we didn't say it because we always give them an extra day.
I always.
And then it's like, yeah, how much was the hotel? And that was like, oh, 150 a night. I was like, yeah,
Just $300 off.
I'm crediting that to you. Is that fine? And that's like, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for doing that for me.
And then we had some extra boxes to go bring them. We go meet with them in person. We talk it out, and it's
Kumbaya.
not necessarily kumbaya, but we're not running away from a problem. Is all. It's like we go
What
there
is
like
kumbaya?
all good kumbayas. We're friends, hanging on a bonfire and singing and dancing.
No, yeah. You end up not getting a
It's not that.
referral from that customer because they did feel upset
the
about
gist.
something. So they go like, if I refer them out, they're gonna be is lower than they think they are, and I don't want to have that responsibility on the referral. So and then we don't get referrals.
But I just think the character of people who we could have sent somebody, hey, go drop. We told them we bring a box, go drop this box off. I don't want to talk to these people again because we've already been paid, we've already credited them all this stuff. It's all over. We still went out there, talked to them again, brought the stuff, shook their hand, said, look, I understand how everything went, I understand your feelings on it, and I respect your feelings on it. And just know if you ever need anything, we're still here. And something happens, call me. I'll always answer. Just as things happen, I always answer, right? And that's all I can promise. I can't promise other humans will do the things that they've promised to do. I can only promise that I will be responsive, which is one of our core values, to you as my client. That's all I can promise. At least you're not going to be ghosted, which is what a lot of people do. And if that's not enough, it's not enough. You don't have to refer me. But at least I'm an honest person, and I'll respond to you, and I'll keep you updated on things within my means. If I don't have an answer, I'll call you and tell you I don't have an answer. But that's all we can do.
And also, there's another thing, right? And we buy, how many times people will change their floors? Just the same family. Every 20 years?
No.
Depends on the flooring, 7 to 10.
7 to
Yeah.
10 years, right? So
If
you
it's
see-
carpet, it's sooner.
So
About
think
4
about
years.
it.
3 to 4, yeah.
unless you lived in many houses and you've done it many times, you know nothing about the job. The person who's hiring the service, right? I know nothing about the processes, how hard it is. Why? Because I don't buy that all the time. Things I buy all the time that I need to have, I have the effort to buy, and I know how hard it is.
So
I kind of value more. I know there are variables. You know what?
it's a recency bias.
Yeah, recency bias. And also there's another bias, like the trial error, which is if I am late, the traffic jam made me late. If you're late, it's because you're lazy. So we have the buyer, the error buyer bias, right?
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying? Like, so the thing is,
Why didn't you leave 5 minutes before?
Yeah.
But when the same thing happens to you, you give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Like, well, this certain thing happened I wasn't expecting.
yeah, exactly, right?
We're critical of others.
So the person who buys, floors, whatever, the person doesn't know how hard it is. And then if you try to explain to the person, no, but come on, the man is going to Mars. How can you pull it this, because it's, I don't know, it's rusty or something. Come on, you don't have the right machine. There are you don't even know what kind of machine is that, but you're demanding because everything needs to be fast today. Everybody's efficient,
My only retort to that is we have customers that say, listen, I understand all that, but that's why we paid you and you're the expert. I just paid you $30,000, and that's what you told me, and that's all I have to go on. That's not my business.
Yes.
My business is I own a law firm and blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to come to you with questions about, I'm paying you for floors, and I just paid you $30,000. And that's the conversations I have sometimes. I'm like, it puts it in perspective. Like, yeah, you're right. If I paid somebody $30,000, I'd want delivery on promises. But that's why every time something goes not to plan, you learn from it. And you say, I'm not going to promise you this amount of time when I know it has a variable. So if it's 3 to 5, I'm telling you 5 allows 6 now after that project because you have to. And then when we finish in 3, it is kumbaya. It's like, wow, he said 6, they finished in 3.
You see?
But you learn every step of the way. But there's some just serious money and people get pissed.
Just now during the podcast, I'm texting a customer as we're sending the links out. And I said, I cannot predict the time that the guys will be there on Saturday morning. But normally it's between 9 and 11. So, and then her reply was like, we'll be available. So just give me some heads up and I'll be there.
Yeah.
So,
But can I tell you something? If there is one thing that pisses me off, it's when they say, oh, I'm going to install your internet tomorrow?
Oh yeah, between
Oh, it's
9
between
and 5.
8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, if it's not that I don't understand how the logistics of this job work, I understand. But the point is, I don't want to wait. I don't want to spend the whole day at home because you don't have one person to get me like a 2 or 3 or 4. Give me something.
It's a walk in someone else's shoes, like walk up 1,000 miles in someone else's shoes type of situation. And that's one of those where it's like, man, it'd be very interesting to work for a week or a month in one of these companies and figure out what are the problems that they're dealing with and why is that their best solution. They'll be there somewhere between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. That's all I can give you. So whatever they're dealing with to give that solution, I feel like just coming from a business standpoint, like there's got to be a reason.
Yes, yeah, of course.
But from a consumer, you're like, well, that's not acceptable. I work. I can't just be home all day. I can't take off a day of work. You need to tell me a 2-hour time frame is okay, but people are kind of
like the example,
it's hard.
The example that Charles, a friend of mine, was giving the other day. He's like, the guy came in to look at our project and he spent 1.5 hours talking, and then I brought him. I was like, man, can I just show you what I need to be done? Because they know each other. He comes around, is like, hey, this is what I need done, and then he's texting now his boss, and he's like, no, that's not a job that we can do. And then he was like, dude, I gotta work. I came in here, and then for like 1.5 hours for you to tell me that you cannot do the work. Why am I wasting that time?
Yeah.
Come have a look at the freaking work before, if you have a minimum. He didn't tell me that you have a minimum to work with because it's just a tiny little thing that he needs done. And that kind of situation, it's like, it's not understandable.
And they're like small quality of life.
Are both Americans?
Things that
Are both Americans?
Yeah. But
So I would say that's something Brazilians, like we have more difficulty to do that. Like Americans are more
Brazil.
Americans are more direct. Like when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And then you answer. Then if if there's room for conversations, of course you can get into a conversation. That's why I asked about that.
I have a time arranged with one guy once that was coming to the factory, the flooring factory,
in Brazil.
Yeah, see some products in Brazil, and then we arranged on a Thursday morning at 10. He comes like on a Wednesday afternoon of the following week. Oh man, I'm here for our appointment. And I was like,
It was last week.
our appointment was Tuesday morning last week. So the guy missed
The day and the time.
the day,
And the week.
the time, and the week.
Yeah. That's classic.
But I'm here now.
Let's do it.
Open up the doors.
And it was like, man, you know how it is. And it's like, I don't, man. I don't know how it is.
Structured,
And to be honest with you, he was a supplier. Like he
should have been on top
It
of
was on his best interest, for me to start selling,
his
whatever
product.
whatever he wants me to start putting on my orders, to my customers. Like, I'm sorry,
You missed
I cannot talk to you because that's how my orders are going to come in.
You get a real clear vision of what the future is going to be like. Yeah.
If I ever need you, you're never going to be there for me.
It's kind of like a weird analogy, but you think of like the very first iPhone to the products that we have now, like year over year, like the improvements that they were making, and now they're very minimal. Your battery life's going to improve by 2 hours, and the camera's slightly better every year. It's just like small little. There's only so once you're like really good. There's only so much you can
No
improve.
revolutions, just
And it's-
the apps are going to run a little faster.
An apps run fast, but it's all what I would call like it's a quality of life improvement for the device. Like little things, everything's just. I can't do a better service, but the things themselves will work a little better.
But
And that's how a business operates at a certain point. You reach your optimum. It's like all I can improve is those little minor things.
But how about if you're using your iPhone 4 and now you pick up the 16 right away?
Oh,
You
huge
go from
difference.
4 to 16. It's just the time. It's just the perception of how fast you consume technology,
Sure.
right? So in my case, it's 3 to 4 years. That's what I exchange my phone. And,
Right.
And I have it still have a good value, right?
Yeah.
But I am for sure. I'm 4 years behind in the phone. In the phone industry.
Well, and the
You see, let's say we see each other
point isn't-
every week, and sometimes more than that. And then let's say you see me getting fat every week, but you don't notice that. And then I go and travel to somewhere to meet a friend, and then they
haven't seen for a year.
They haven't seen for a year, and they go like,
dude, you've been
and
good.
then, well, no, it's like they go to pick you up at the airport, and then you have a beard on, and then you're fat, and then they go like,
They don't even recognize you.
they go like, and then you go like, hey man, how are you doing? It's like, who are you?
Who the fuck are you?
Well, I'm Hilton. Really? I cannot recognize you. So, yeah.
That's just saying it's a weird analogy. When you apply it to business, like it's those little things. So you have to like be creative on what can I still improve. You
Well,
know?
when you think about it too, you always have to give your best estimation.
Always.
You have the SOP. You have your standard operating procedures.
You fucking
And
military guys.
what
Your countertop did not happen the way I would like it to have happened. It took a little longer than conventional time.
100%.
but to me, I'm not the type that I understand things happen.
And we're friends.
Well, but even at that, I'm always the type of person that 8 to 5 stuff, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me because at the same time, I understand. Their operation of doing things is like, we will be there between this time and this time. I apologize, I can't give you something better because that is our limitations. Yes, they can improve on it. Yes, they can do better. Fantastic. But this is what I have to deal with,
At least they're up front.
And at least, exactly.
I hate the non-communication. That's what bugs me.
Or I would hate the fact of like, I could be there Tuesday or I could be there Thursday. Surprise, if it's one of those days at some random time, I don't have the information to give that to you. So I feel like people also have to step back, and we it was briefly said by you, step back and kind of understand that shit happens. Cars break down and you got to go rescue your daughter. I can't get to your job on a specific time because of X, Y, and Z. Hilton doing the floors. There was a giant ice storm that delayed the storm.
Yeah,
and
the
I had
other
to,
job, yeah.
Yeah, that I had to stay, and
Stay
it's like,
long. It's like a 4-day job that took 8 because and both jobs for you took a little longer.
Yeah.
Countertop was only 1 day, but the floor
Swear,
is
it's not
like,
always
the
like
floor-
that, Connor.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying is like, but at the same time,
there was
you have to sit back and go, you know
everything
what?
was frozen.
Yes.
And the installer actually made it, but he was working like 4 hours of a day only.
Trying to get back home.
To get back home.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I was a paying customer, even if it was like $100,000 job, I still would not have that
Do it.
callousness to
Yeah.
be like, hey Dylan and Hilton, what the fuck is going on? You said it was supposed to be done on Tuesday. I don't care about some ice on the road. It needs to be done.
Yeah, the amount
now.
of money I'm paying you, melt the ice, get here.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have a little bit of compassion for situations. And I feel like that's where a lot of people are lacking.
Yeah, if every customer was like you, we wouldn't complain. And really, it's not even me complaining. It's just the fact of what happens, and that's what comes with the territory, and I accept that.
And
if
actually-
every customer was like you, it would be a different world.
Right.
Yeah, and the customer in Sun City was actually pretty good, right? Because
Very nice people.
Yeah, and there was like, man, I had to spend another day, and I cannot afford that. It's like it's okay. We can.
Yes.
Before I even started working with Hilton, I had the exact same situation of a customer moving here from California. We needed to be done by a certain day, and because of circumstances outside of my control, we didn't end up on that day. So they couldn't move in, and it held up furniture and all these things. That's where I think the stress comes from. Now I have to reschedule the furniture. They came on an 18-wheeler truck to bring all my full house. They have nowhere to put it. Now I got to pay this amount for them to take it here to do, and it creates all these extra problems. And so people get stressed, but when you
There's always a
boil
solution.
it all down and you look at like what caused the problem, more often than not, it's not one thing. It's just a combination of things that it's really not one person screwed anything up. It's just
normally do I say
it's just a perfect storm.
It's just a money thing.
Well, it always comes down to $1.
Yeah,
that is
money thing.
But even at that, you resolved those issues by saying we'll pay for your hotel costs.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
So if it's a money thing, I got you on that aspect. Your moving truck is here. We'll put it up in storage for a little bit, and then we'll take it out. Shit, I'll even help unload it from storage if I have to. So there's always
within reason, because sometimes they're like, I've got to do this. They're going to charge me an extra $5,000. Like this whole job was $7,000. So
my point being, and I've really that's one thing I have to give a shout out to Camila, as far as
shout out.
Putting perspective, and she's really good at this, is like, for an example, like piggybacking off that example of like the move. Are we all alive? Are we all healthy? Did we all get here? And it's like, yes, we're all healthy. Yes, yeah. You know, we're all good. So you have to put things in perspective. Like sometimes, like I've always said, shit happens. You know, you gotta just have a little bit of I do not want to overexert unnecessary stress for situations
when it's not needed. Yeah.
When it's not needed. When it's not needed.
I had a situation like that. I'll let you go. I'm just sorry.
No, go ahead.
That was one of my uncle's favorite phrases. He is the one that blew up the flooring business that I started in Mark Chase. And he used to always say, like, look, we work in flooring. It's not a hospital. Nobody died.
Yeah.
Okay? So I know it's stressful and blah, blah, but look at the bright side. Nobody died. There's not anything crazy. And he said that one day to a nurse.
Popular wisdom, man. Popular wisdom.
She did not like that at all. It really pissed her off, and she wrote a nasty review online. Like, this guy told me your problems don't matter because not at all what he said. But just depending on who you never know anybody's walk of life either.
What's the angle? You know?
Camila is right, and that is true. Like, everyone's alive, we're all breathing, we're all good, but depending on how you say things...
But you don't say that to customers. You go like...
No, of course not.
You go, that's all we do.
Did your leg fall off there, Jim? Come on.
Crying.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what we want to say.
You want to.
But, you know, I don't anymore because of experience. I just go like, I understand. And if I was in your situation, I'll be feeling exactly the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Although there is literally nothing that I can do to make it better right now, and I'm so sorry about it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
nice to hear though, because you care.
Yeah.
When I started in this, I was like 20 years old, and I was like, "What? These people are being assholes. Like, it's not our fault that this is stuff mobile." And as you get older, you try to put yourself in their shoes more often. You're like, man, I bought a house once, and if that would have happened to me, I would have lost sleep at night. I've been so stressed. What am I gonna do? I just paid all this money for this stuff to come in. I have nowhere to put it. It's stressful.
You see that the common variable of everything you're speaking is anxiety.
Food, RFK,
anxiety,
irrational fears.
Irrational fears.
Because you see that you have to create a plan, but like you got three. If you need to make that amount of money, so you gotta give your best for this service, but then there's another one coming, and then it requires your time over there, and then the customer, your client, also is having the same problems. Like it's gonna be a snowball. And
it's all in your
from
head.
both sides, you kind of it happens. Like, I know we can have this done. We can have this done. We measure that it can be done, and this can be done, man. This necessity of growing at this level, man.
The necessity, and it's like you have a customer. It's like just the body language of the way you're explaining it is how the customers most of the time are. It's like it's because I have to make this amount of money. It's got to go this. There's so much stress and so much emphasis on this, and this happening, and people get so bothered.
The other thing is like, I gotta get this done before Thanksgiving, and then they start a project a week before the Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Hey, why didn't you not start 3 weeks before Thanksgiving then?
But honestly,
just don't do anything right now and wait.
But you know what?
Respectfully, you're also not my only customer. So I have people that did start 3 weeks ago.
So, and I was gonna say, Camila wanted to do our countertops before her cousins come in. And I go, Camila, we should have done this last month. Why are we doing this now? Oh, Hilton's our friend. Dylan and Hilton can get it done quick. And I'm going, you're setting unrealistic expectations of something where shit can go, shit can happen.
But you see, that's exactly like because you don't do that often.
And then you think it can be done.
Things today are so liquid. It's not about Camila, it's about us, you know. We want it to be solved right away. We want things done like light, you know, like
instant
I want it
gratification.
done yesterday.
Exactly.
And ultimately,
That one job that the customer you're going tomorrow to finish, which is Thanksgiving Day.
bro,
Right.
it's my family too.
And then, but look at this. Look at
Blood
this.
relatives.
Really?
Look at this. It takes the floor up, and it takes a whole day to do the floor prep. Because normally it's something that takes 3 hours. It takes the whole day.
It's
So
an
the-
old home.
So the job could have already been finished,
nice home, but it's old. And it's not been
but
renovated.
because of the year and the amount of movement and the slab ahead, and that's on the second floor, it's so bad. It's like we had to bring twice as much.
Literally
you know.
double the amount of floor prep, but nothing we were even doing. He put 400, you said,
400 screws.
into. It's on the second floor in the plywood because it's squeaking and it's moving in a certain
Not
area
us. He did it.
on his own time. He told he's like, I put 400 screws into this subfloor
10 per day
To
for
try
40 days.
to try and
Jesus.
to try and get it to stop moving. And I'm like, oh well, that square footage, maybe we'd be okay with like 15, 20 bags. No, it was like 40 bags of cement patch prep
Holy
because of how much
shit.
movement there was. And it's an old home, and it's wood from probably like the 60s. This house might have been built in the 50s. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's off a golf course. It's a really nice home, but it's outdated and it's old, and they're bringing it back to life.
And it's less than a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we started on
Saturday.
we literally started on Saturday, and they did everything basically on Saturday. But we had to make custom nosings and things that weren't ready basically until yesterday. But I didn't have anybody to
Because
send.
we didn't have,
And the one guy got his van
stolen. Yeah.
So I'm down a whole, not one person, I'm down a crew. I'm down like 4 people. A guy who hires 3 people. I'm down 4 people. And now I'm moving things around trying to get it done. And it was supposed to happen today, but the job they got today didn't finish at the time that they were
Yeah,
thinking it would
It
finish.
wasn't 1 or 2.
Snowball effect.
It wasn't 1 or 2 days, and it took 2.
So it's like, this is
There you
weighing
go.
me down. At some point, I gotta cut that
Because
and let it
it's-
fall.
But Hilton,
It's an 1875 house, the other one job. So
But
But yeah, the other
Look at that
the house is
Hilton.
from 1875. Another house.
Jesus
What the
Christ.
thing is, you should be in
Really cool house
the
though.
market should be
I'm
as
sure it
good
is.
for you enough for you to be able to say, hey, we cannot do this job, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I love,
Because-
and so that's
do
the
you
other
understand?
aspect.
Because this is what makes you guys stressed is because you need more business.
It's my
no, but
it's
that
my
is
uncle.
it's his family.
It's
Exactly,
my
yeah. So
It's
you know-
my
you know what I'm
mom's
saying?
sister.
Other pressure too.
It's my mom's
Yeah.
sister.
So,
Yeah,
but it's
family,
another
so-
type of pressure. That now it's a social family.
But
Look at
that's the
that, man.
pressure. It's like it's not moving. It's like, hey,
anxiety.
I need this done by Thanksgiving.
Anxiety.
So now they're doing Thanksgiving tomorrow. We have guys there in the morning finishing the staircase, you know? And they're happy to do it because they don't really even celebrate Thanksgiving. But I had to call it like, hey, can they go? He's like, well,
Muslims.
we had to go. We had to
Okay.
talk about the.
So shout out to
Daniel.
Daniel. I got this tequila, and it's a very small. It's a very small tequila.
Small batch?
No, it's
Jeez.
a small tequila place, factory, or whatever it's called.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, Daniel,
Mexico?
From Mexico. Thank you very much. And if you guys wanna look it up, there's a nice story behind it.
Carabuena.
And we're gonna try it out.
Yeah.
I want to try it out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel, for real. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
By the way, you see, we always
second
wait
Daniel.
for the end of the show to ask, but we should ask anyone to comment if they know this drink, if they are interested in the comments, and like it
You
also,
pour yourself. Oh,
Thank you, sir.
Instead of saying,
Try
alright.
this whiskey, I think.
Small batch, handcrafted.
I know that George
So
is
it is
not
small
doing
batch.
it.
No, but I want to smell it. I want to
Oh,
smell it.
smell
I
on
don't
the
drink
cup
it.
on the glass.
It's okay.
Put
Have
your
you tried
nose in
those
there.
agave? George, I'm gonna have to drink this first. Have you tried those
go.
non-alcoholic agave? It's like tequila, but it's
We got
non-alcoholic.
I've been trying everything at the wine.
But they'll sell it in a bottle like this, but it's zero. It's
I know. I've
0%.
seen it. Oh, but that brand you mean?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like tequila.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's
Oh, but
0% made from
it smells very
agave.
good.
It's 0.3%,
I'm not catching too much of a-
0.2%.
No,
Will you
come on.
try that?
Yeah, I've tried it.
I'm catching on-
Liqueurs.
on
I
like a
tried it.
lemon.
Wine,
Yes.
beer,
Yeah.
whiskey.
What do you think about them?
I
Doesn't do it for you.
I don't like
Cheers.
spirits that
Hold
much.
on, because just savor the smell a little bit, let it breathe. What are you smelling it?
Lemon.
Lemon.
Yeah.
Lemon. So
lime.
exactly what it is. That
Is it lemon?
That is no, it's not. But it has that.
It's strawberry, but
lemon.
it's fine.
Yeah, there is that
You're in the
lemon
realm of fruit.
flavor to it, but it's natural. It's just like a white tequila, but it's not flavored.
See, this is my thing. Good tequila is dangerous. If it is smooth, if it is...
We're gonna see right now because I just opened the box. I just cracked it open. So
Here, cheers, gentlemen.
I love tequila.
I love tequila also.
Hey, thank you guys for understanding. This is the most understanding group I've been to. You know, like there's always a peer pressure for you to
Holy.
drink and this and that.
Oh wow,
it's pretty good. Jeez.
God damn it!
well, that's actually extreme. There's no ice or anything in this. It's very smooth.
It's just delicious. I tried
This
this.
is a
This-
sipping.
I
damn
appreciate
it. Oh,
and you know
yeah,
what?
there,
It's
'cause
less than
usually the
50
first
bucks.
time,
It's 40 something.
people go and put ice on
I gotta
it,
go
you
get
know,
a bottle of
like
this.
try
It's
to
unbelievable.
me?
Yeah.
No, to be candid,
Oh my
the
God.
smell itself hits you in the nose more. That would make you like, oh, like the smell has that factor. But when you actually drink it,
It's
it is
smooth.
very smooth. Yeah.
Smooth, refined. It has just enough a little sweetness of a
Velvety.
God dang, man, this is dangerous.
It's
I could drink
dangerous.
this all night.
Yeah.
Holy, I'm sipping on. I've always had shitty tequila
That's really good.
It's and
where
it's,
you just take shots of it. And
Use
you
the
go,
rush.
I think it's 40
But
bucks.
you know,
40
like, I
something.
think what you're saying
this is
That's not
amazing.
bad. That's like.
Where did you
that's-
get this at?
At I'll tell you where it is. I don't know the name. I forgot. But it's
And
close to my house.
Pull it up.
Yeah.
I just rush.
I like that.
It's delicious. It's pretty good.
No bite.
I tasted it. It's like, okay, I'm buying it. I wasn't gonna buy tequila. I was getting the bourbon for us today,
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, I'm buying it.
that tequila.
And then I'll
is
open it up on the
phenomenal.
podcast. And Daniel, thank you very much for
Daniel?
That's pretty good.
Great recommendation.
And he works for the company, so
Oh, he works for them.
Yeah.
The distillery.
yeah,
God dang, Daniel.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Shout out to you and that
He
company,
is a
man.
subscriber to our channel.
Welcome to the
Welcome
podcast.
to the podcast, man. This is Puff Drink Talk. We puff, we drink, and we talk. We do more talking than anything else, though.
Yeah, the smoking is pretty much up there too. Right?
Yeah.
So you're always
Yeah, you're on a
puffing a
second
little bit.
cigar. So how this one tastes like?
yeah. The one I finished earlier, because it's infused sweet. I didn't want to smoke much of
But,
that one.
how is this one?
This one is good. It's a Sumatra.
Okay.
Decent cigar.
Yeah,
For the price it is. It's absolutely a steal for the price. It's like $4, I think. Because it's 8, but I got a 50% discount. Every time we want to buy like a big, like for your birthday, we ended up not smoking because he took it. I bought it like 10 Babaloos. And it was
okay.
like, and then I got it 50% off. Because it would be the same price if I become a member or not. So now I have for 1 year if you want to buy it, and I can get the cigars cheaper.
Okay.
And what you can do, just put your
band in it?
band in it because
I went to Babalu to do that.
I know, but it's not worth it. You have to buy it that way.
Yeah.
If you buy a box, they
Yeah,
only
I've
give
done
you
it
10%. But if I go there and buy it individually, even if it's 100 individually, then I'm gonna get 50% off.
Oh, interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. The box presses are
50%.
We had a triple leggero. We had a
press box,
triple
very good.
leggero from Babalu, and it was pretty tasty.
It was like grassy and like
Very grassy and
I'll bring
a
it
little bit of
next,
spice.
next week. I'll bring it for us, for all of us, Babalus.
okay.
Okay.
I like Babalu's. You know they have like a live stream camera too in there. You can watch at any given time. I think they
Every
have
Saturday,
24/7.
every Saturday,
They, like, roll
they're out there.
The team
they're
rolling, yeah, the rolling
they're-
cigars.
You
yeah.
can do an
They have
event
cameras
like that.
watching.
Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I like.
we should-
It's a
we
cool
should go.
place. It's a local cool place.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a very nice tequila, isn't it?
God dang, I can't stop thinking about that. That was.
Do you want another one?
phenomenal. No, because
Drink water.
yeah, I gotta drink more water.
Do you have your
Yeah.
Is that a competition to see which one is bigger? Because look at that. Look at that. Jesus. Okay. Then I'm out of the club. I'm out of the club, man.
Yeah.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Okay.
Hydration.
But do you know, Conan and I are exactly the same
Yeah,
one.
it's
And
the same.
do you know what? Conan, look at this. When you put this way and then you drink. Mine doesn't anymore. But you have that little sound like.
Yeah, yeah.
If you just do this, and it doesn't.
Okay, now
No,
do straight.
No,
Now do
it's straight.
Yeah.
No,
right
you
there.
gotta do it straight.
Yeah.
More 90-degree.
Watch.
Yeah.
It still does.
Yeah,
Mine
but
doesn't.
watch when I go all the way.
Ah, you got different air valves.
I twist mine open.
It's a competition.
You gotta- you
Who
gotta
sucks
twist it.
better here? Okay.
Y'all both found different like.
You know what? This is actually
Of sucking competition.
well. This is actually a very
suck
good.
better than you do.
It's a very good insight.
Don't suck this way, dude.
It's a very good insight on anything that you do and you have. It's based on you find a way right into using something
Goodness.
that somebody else will find a different way of using. You know the same.
Different
Oh yeah,
solution.
the same thing.
That's what I was gonna say. Y'all both found different solutions to the same
For
problem.
the same problem, exactly.
Yep.
And then actually, I was Alice. I was like, "Daddy, if you do this way, it's not gonna do that sound." And I was
I
like,
remember my like senior year biology class or something. The dude brought in like a big box that you'd like blow into, and it was supposed to measure your lung capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little ball, the little ping pong ball thing.
I don't honestly. It's been so long now. I don't remember. I just remember it was like a box with a tube, and you blew into it, and you'd keep blowing, and the point is like you can blow as hard as you want. Your lung will never lose so much air that you can't like get it back. Because if it fully deflates, you get no air. That's what happens when people have a punctured lung. It's really hard to like reinflate it. So you'll push all the air out as much as you can. You still have some air left in your lung. Like your body just doesn't really let you do that. But we're measuring lung capacity, and it would fill up this little meter and show. And out of everybody in my entire school at that time in life, I had, for the men, the largest lung capacity. Because it was everybody that was a senior doing it. In my class, I was the most, and then the next time I was in that class, he put a little chart and I had the highest, and everybody was making fun of me that I was the biggest blower. I could blow better than anybody could blow. Well, I'll put that on my tombstone one day. Man, that dude could blow.
Was that a well, was it a like a length thing or was it just like blow as hard as you can one time?
Length.
Like
it was one time, but it wasn't like blow again, blow again. It was take in the deepest breath you can take, and expel all of it. And all that air coming out was going to fill a thing, and it was moving
so
a little
many different ones, right?
a bladder probably that would leave. Like, okay, that was X amount of cubic inches, whatever, to lung capacity.
Right now, because I'm taking the cluster vaccines for allergy, every time I go there,
That's
I have,
RFK.
every time I go, oh my gosh, every time I go there, I have to test it.
It's not proven.
How good it is every time.
What? You're
There's this device, and then you just suck it. Then you have to do it like
like impulse.
Yes, so you got to do it. If you don't achieve, if you don't get to, the standard there, you have to try it again.
Interesting.
we're doing bathroom runs.
Yes.
Now we're at that point in the show where
That we have to do the battle of the logos.
people got to pee, and we got to do the battle of the logos.
Yeah.
But of course, we can go back, and I can go back to the fear thing. Do you fear fire? Are you afraid of fire?
No, one thing that I was thinking of, that's why when I was talking about the height, but the thing that I was originally thinking that I was like afraid of was cockroaches. But then I went to a farm when I was like 16 years old, a friend of mine, and it's like, I remember the very first day, we would like run out, from the farmhouse, because like and cockroaches flying, like those big ones flying, like behind
Flying
us.
over your face.
That was on a Friday. Saturday we were like avoiding them. Do you know what I mean? And then on a Sunday, literally like
You're outnumbered.
Yeah. Well, but no.
By
On a
thousands.
On a Sunday, it was so much. It was so much. On a Sunday, like we're like having dinner or lunch or something like that. It's like zoom, and then they're like zoom.
You
and
just
then like
get desensitized and get used to it.
yeah, a friend of mine, Anax.
Yes.
Anax. So Rodrigo's gonna know. And then first day we are running, and then the cockroaches flying behind us. The last day.
Afraid of cockroaches.
They are flying, and then we are behind them trying to hit them. Yeah, we were like running after them to hit them. Like to slap them down. With our own bare hands. So I don't think I have anything like that. Maybe snakes, but I'm alright around snakes.
Spiders.
I've had snakes in my hands.
Spiders.
I can't do spiders.
No, I'll
saw a
step on
black widow not
spiders.
too long ago.
Yeah, but we stepped on it. I mean, I'm not.
We killed it.
Yeah.
The problem is there's so much fuzz about spiders and
Dude,
snakes,
I'm
all these
Texan,
animals,
I don't give a
like
Remember the black widow that we saw at a customer's home, and we killed it?
yes.
But no, there was one over here. No, I thought they were talking about the one over here. We had over here in the office.
Yeah, but if you're talking about the size of
No,
the
I was
under my chair.
I was talking about the black one.
I was like, we killed a black widow. We saw a black widow, and you're like, yeah, we killed it.
Yeah. No,
I thought we were talking about the same thing.
No, I thought it was the one that over here was a brown one.
No, we straight up. We've seen all different kinds of spiders.
Yeah.
I don't like spiders. I don't go spend time with them, but I don't.
I'm not Harry Potter friends with
But look at
spiders.
that.
If I see like some crazy hairy tarantula and the body is like the size of this and the legs come out to here, so you're talking about something that's this fucking big, I'm going the other way. I'm not messing with it.
So I was in Bahia. I wasn't
Are you?
No, going to that farm that I was just talking about, I was driving and there was a huge tarantula, and then I was like,
Big?
This big, crossing the road because
That's almost a foot.
No, it wasn't that big. It was about this big. It was like 9 inches.
Run it over?
I run it over and it was like,
It was like a
it was like that.
How come you know what 9 inches look like?
So I look down sometimes.
yeah. Oh my.
He was too quick with the measurements. Like, it's about 9 inches. He knew.
Yeah.
But
wanted to know why.
remember that I was telling you that some of those roads that we went today, because we had like farm
Potholes and
and then to be on dirt instead of
dirt.
asphalt.
yes.
It was something like that. It was like 400 kilometers on dirt road and then farms both sides. And then it was like a huge spider crossing.
Correct.
It was about this big.
ran over.
Do you have
I ran
to?
over it. My sister was like,
in the army, do you have to test
scared.
if you're afraid of heights, for example?
I was never in the
one
army.
we killed here.
Yeah, but I know. But
Guts
if
came
you
out.
In the
in
military?
the military, that's
was
what I meant.
gnarly.
No. They don't
No?
test you for your fears.
For a few years now.
No.
Okay.
They don't give a shit.
Okay.
Only if you're like fearful of like transgenders or something. I think.
No, they don't. They don't. No, and I didn't mean that.
You gotta do the
like
duty.
in a callous way. Yeah, you just have to. They don't care if you're
Suck it.
fear. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
You shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Natural selection.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
if you can.
So people with like severe anxiety, like these things, they're not going to make it in the military.
well, and that's it. And I think that's why PTSD is a prevalent thing in the military, because you are forced in certain situations that you
Stress again.
stress,
It's anxiety and stress, man.
and
Go
some
hand in hand.
people's brains are not and bodies are not capable of handling that amount of stress that quickly or those type of situations. And I mean, that's with any case.
The lioness, right? The two lionesses, right?
Well, right now we are gonna do
Yeah.
Keep telling me
the
to watch it.
bottle of the logo, and I don't know.
Bottle of the logo.
We do not have Paul's picks.
I have
so
them.
you have it?
He texted them to me.
Okay. And so
How did we do last week?
we have 3 games on Thursday?
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's Thanksgiving, so there's
Thanksgiving
3
always has
Thursday
games.
games.
Oh, okay, that's nice. It's all on Amazon?
No.
No, unfortunately.
Black Friday is on Amazon.
Everybody is a pretty decent week out of everyone.
Yeah.
Worst was 8, and it was Paul, which is pretty good actually. 8 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And we went almost 100% on
Sweet.
sweeps if the Texans didn't shit
Oh
the
my
bed.
God.
Yeah.
What an upset!
Yeah.
That was the
We would have
upset.
gone 100% on sweeps. Actually, look, I haven't even updated this yet. The Ravens won. That's another check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
6 out of 7.
6 out of that's good numbers.
80-something%.
What about games of the week? Was that like a really good game? I said that the Ravens would be my first one.
That was a pretty good game, actually.
It wasn't bad. Eagles Rams wasn't bad.
I picked I was the only one who picked the Eagles.
Yeah.
Where, oh, yes, you are. I just really thought it'd be an upset week for the Rams. But
What about the Birds?
Browns too beat
It was
the
not
Steelers.
it was a low scoring
game.
not very well.
And the-
Honestly, out of all the games that I did end up watching and kind of seeing, Steelers versus Browns, a foot of snow.
How about Cowboys that come? They
which
came
was
back
on
in
Thursday.
The end of the game, wasn't it?
did you watch that?
Yeah, I just heard, I was hearing because my
Yeah.
neighbor was listening to
Now,
that.
the Cowboys and Commanders was kind of
That
like
was a fun game.
it was
Yeah.
kind of like a shit game until the very end in the fourth quarter, and then the Cowboys scored, Commanders scored, and it was like a few minutes left, and then we got a touchdown on a kickoff return, and it's basically the game's over. We're up 7. And then they throw a crazy pass to Terry McLaurin. He scores a touchdown. So the game, they're 1 point behind, and he misses the extra point. So now they have to kick an onside instead of taking it to overtime.
Yeah.
Kicks it straight to a guy on the Cowboys team, and he runs it in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he should have just gone down, and the game would have been over. We would have won by 1, but he went in.
Wow.
Good for him. I mean, if you got the foot on somebody's throat, you might as well go for the kill.
So now we're up by 8, but that leaves the door open with like 19 seconds left. We're up by 8. If they were to score a touchdown and go for 2, we're still going to overtime. Whereas if he got the ball and just went down, there's no way they ever get the ball back and the game's over. So if he would not have scored the touchdown,
You would have been bad. Potentially.
we still would have had
Still would have won.
the ball, so it would have been better, right? But the fact that he scored the touchdown, it opened up this narrative like these guys are needing to get coached on it. But it was an interesting game. It was not interesting until like the last
Until it
5
was,
minutes of the game,
yeah.
until it was, and then it became good. But other than that, nah. So I'll give Paul that was Paul's second pick. I'll give him a little credit on that one because it did turn interesting towards the end there. And if it wasn't the Cowboys and Commanders, maybe we'd all be saying something different. Like, wow, it got competitive in the last 5 minutes. But Steelers Browns was interesting just because of the crazy snow, and it was
and it
competitive.
was back and forth.
It was competitive the whole way through.
It was a fun game.
Vikings Bears was super competitive. The Bears almost freaking won.
Yeah, went in overtime.
Oh,
Yeah, but what is that?
yeah, Conrad, I forgot to give you an X there on the Bears.
Oh, really? Oh, darn. Damn.
I have to do this live on camera.
Oh, my God.
I just noticed that right now. Like, I'm good. I'm not great. I forgot about that. But yeah, the Bears almost, and the whole time I was watching, I was like, Conrad's about to upset us. Because because it came down to the wire.
I kept calling that one too. That was going to be my upset game of the week. Damn it!
Sorry, man.
So you and Paul tied.
You and Paul tied.
Still close.
It was a good week. It was a good week. Yeah. So I think we have another good slate coming up
3
here.
buys, man. That was a
What's the
lot.
current score?
So this week,
what's the current total score?
we have no buys. The current total score. So every week, we're all losing points, right?
Yes.
Because every week you're not going to go 100%. So now it's Hilton and Paul tied at 200. 205, 206, 207. So that would be George, Conrad, and I. So it is anybody's freaking game.
To have about
If you
5
didn't
weeks.
correct that Bears game,
We would have been tied up, Arno.
And I saw that too, and I was like,
You weren't going to say
I wasn't
anything.
gonna say-
Oh my
I wasn't
god!
gonna say anything. I was gonna be like, watch it come down to
Oh
like
my
the
God.
final week.
And I forgot that.
Dylan goes like, hey, wait.
What the hell happened?
I'll have to start auditing this thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like I have to start auditing this thing.
We need to get a third-party
Thank you
auditing
for that.
company.
Yes.
I told you guys last week I gotta stop messing around, you know? I can't lose this thing.
I don't care. I like the logos. Doing the peaks like these, we gotta put the logos next year. Because I can't see the logos in this screen.
Well, this is just when we're going back to... We would want to do it on this screen, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Logo's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Logo's
this
there.
Yeah, give me some time to figure out how I'm gonna do that, and we can make that happen.
Give me access to that today. I can help you.
You also have to take into account, right? Without bye weeks, there's 16 games a week, and 18
Times
weeks.
18
You know how
weeks.
much information I have to type in this
Yeah,
already?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
But every year, our goal is to improve on the last. So we'll
You're gonna
see.
pull it.
Maybe
You're
I
gonna
can
pull
put
it
some-
straight. Pull it straight from the website.
Last year, we did not have that. We have to
Yeah.
watch.
This is already better.
We had to
Yeah.
watch the podcast to
I
figure
was
out
down.
the picks.
Yeah.
I was watching the podcast back, then doing it, and I was like, you know what? Enough of this. I'm gonna start writing it down on paper and take a picture. Then I go back and I'm like, what? Let's just do a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I'm already watching the games in real time. I can start updating it, so it's less work for me on a Monday.
Yeah.
And as you just saw, I still don't catch every single one. You know,
I guess now
Unfortunately.
you did.
unfortunately for
Fuck
Conrad.
The audit started today, man.
Nope,
Yeah.
you caught
The audit
it.
started
And then as
today.
soon as I was like, oh, I didn't put it.
I caught it.
Don't
and saw it,
blame
and I
me.
was like,
And
I'm
you
not
didn't say
saying
anything.
I'm not.
I see how it is. The competitiveness is coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be tied with Paul. Come on now. I didn't want to just.
Why do you think Hilton feels? They're tied on the season. Hilton,
Yeah.
this is going to be your breakout week.
It's okay. I don't.
No, you're going to
feel bad
finish.
about it.
No, you can't tie an Aggie. You're going to come out on top at the end here. I know it. I know it.
I'm me on this game.
All right, we have the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving.
For me, it's complicated because I like the
Lions,
Bears. I
for
do like the
sure.
Bears.
This is probably
Lions, for
a sweep unless you want to go Bears. I'm for sure Lions.
No, I'm Lions.
Paul is Lions.
Yeah, Lions.
It's gonna be our first sweep. Maybe first of many. I don't know.
Hilton, do you have a cleaning stick list?
Yes, I do.
Of course we do.
If I find it,
Right. Right there.
I cannot see it. Can you see it from there?
De hieros
Those
en
are
tus
tobacco.
labios.
Dylan.
Otra vez.
Send me a copy of this to another one so I can change a little bit for us.
Thank you.
I won't change this one. I won't change the official one.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I'll do that.
Just give me just double
I'll
it.
do file, make a copy, share.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I will put it in.
Hey, if you got time to make it better,
No, just to like.
I'm all for
No,
that.
no. It's just that an option. You just like we have an option to do that.
It's like today,
If you
literally.
can do it, do it.
Look at this. Today, literally, we thought that we'd have time,
I literally texted you saying we're gonna have a half day today. Nope.
and then
You didn't.
we got here at about what 4?
Yeah.
and then
It was like 320 something.
No more, 340 something. And then it's like we sat down for like 20 minutes
We were
to
supposed to
put
be
two
smart.
quotes together, and then Corner arrives. And then we still had to go out, to see a customer. And then Corner went in with us.
We were supposed to go pick up a check at 3:30, but we were still here at the office at 3:45.
Yeah.
Before we'd even left.
Oh yes, that was us.
And then we were leaving, and I didn't know Conrad was going to be able to get here early, and he was here. I was like,
Come with us then.
"Come with us." 'Cause
I'm
we
just a surprise.
got to go.
Just a bundle of joy.
All right, we have the New York Giants at my Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys.
We go the boys this time.
I'm going to take the. Not many teams I've been picking over the Cowboys lately. This is one that I will take the Cowboys over the Giants.
You're tanking. No.
I know, but we still have a little bit of self-respect. We're not going to lose to the Giants.
Sweep. You're a Seahawk, then you.
I'm just glad that Cowboys aren't playing the Seahawks this year because we got our win last year,
Yeah.
and this year we don't look too good. So save me the embarrassment. We have the Miami Dolphins at the Green Bay Packers. Thursday night, Thanksgiving, prime time game. Packers 8-3, Dolphins 5-6. I'll go first here.
Packers.
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 He actually did go first.
Yeah. He heard me
No.
sing, and he's like, "I don't care."
Yeah, it's just that I'm
People-
so
people
pissed
seen-
with the
people
Dolphins.
seen.
Shit.
You people see?
Yeah.
Is this another sweep? Because
Yes.
he did go Packers as well, Mr. Paul. And Paul also said this is his game 2. Anybody else have any game of the week?
Game 1 is the Bears and Lions for sure.
Implications? That's your game 1.
Yeah, number 1.
Perfect. I don't disagree with that. I think this part of the season, there's certain teams that we might have an opinion of and we count out. But don't let that distract you from the fact that these could still be pretty good matchups, pretty good games.
Yeah.
I just feel Tua's not good in the cold.
This is my game.
And we'll get there too. I've seen some weather reports about some stuff happening later in our thing down here. I think we have some good ones coming up. We have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs.
No chance.
It's another sweep.
The Chiefs.
It's another sweep.
I have-
Show's heard.
I'll have to change because if I want to win, I have to start changing.
Change with some.
This is a good
Yeah.
matchup where I
This
think
is
we'll have
actually
some
pretty good, yeah.
some mix-ups here. So we have the
Falcons look good.
Los Angeles Chargers at the Atlanta Falcons. Home game for the Falcons.
Silverhawks, the Falcons.
You're gonna take the Falcons.
Yes.
I'm very inclined to go with the birds.
Bird.
I'd love to pull up win and loss streaks. I don't know if the Falcons have been winning or been losing. I guess I can go up and look what game were the Falcons run a bye week. So the Falcons are coming off a bye. The week before, the Falcons lost to the Broncos. So coming off a bye, they're playing the Chargers. The Chargers are, by all means, they're a good team. J.K. Dobbins just came. He was not going to play in this game. He hurt his knee. And I know that because he's on my fantasy team, and I'm pissed off about it. But J.K. Dobbins is not going to play. Quentin Johnston has not been catching. He hasn't been producing. So the offense is a little bit limited. But Justin Herbert is a dog. So it's going to come down to Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, it's going to come down to not Marvin Harrison, he's with Arizona, but all these Falcons, James Conner. That's what it's going to come down to. And it's a home game coming off a bye. I think I'm going to have a hard time not picking the Falcons in this one. I hope I don't regret it later, but I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Birds.
I'm going Chargers.
I'm thinking of the birds. I'll go birds.
Conrad's going Chargers. Birds. Paul is also going to take the Birds.
I prevented that sweep.
Yeah.
Upset of the week over here with Mr. Conrad. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's my game of the week, and I'll go Steelers.
So this is going to be my game 2 of the week, and these are both AFC North teams. So this is a divisional matchup. The
They know
Bengals
each other.
they know each other well. And the Bengals really don't have much of a chance in the playoffs this year. So
they might play.
A moral morale victory would be to fuck the Steelers up. Because they're not going anywhere.
They do that too.
Yeah, I know I can't make the playoffs, but I'd love if I knocked you out.
Yeah.
Steelers being 8-3, it's very tough that they're going to get knocked out, but the Bengals would love a win here. It's a home game. It's Joe Burrow. It's Jamar Chase. It's T. Higgins. It's all these freaking guys. On the other side, you got George Pickens really stepping it up with Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. So we'll see, but it's an away game for them. They're playing in Cincinnati. The Bengals show up. They haven't been the team that we all thought they would be. I'm going to pick the Bengals.
I'm Steelers.
Steelers for me too.
I'm going to make a compelling argument each way down, just so you have the information that you need to use.
Minimally help us choose, right?
I'm not going to change your mind, but I'm going to give you a little bit of extra data points. And some of these matchups will have more data points than others.
I'm going to go Bengals.
This is one of those where I just really think it's one of those games that's set up to surprise you a little bit, because the Steelers, in my personal opinion, have been playing above their talent level.
Yep.
They've been playing really well, excelling, and I think the Bengals have been playing below their talent level. So if they're both playing at their talent level, in my opinion, the Bengals win that matchup. But it's football and it's human beings, and anything can happen. I love sports. I love football. Paul here is on the Steelers. So we'll see what happens. We have the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On a second thought.
On a second thought.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Texans.
No.
We can come back to it. We can go all the way through.
Paul speaking the Steelers, you know.
He has a proven track record of not being correct.
Poor Paul.
No, I'll go Steelers. I
That's
like
really
the way
funny.
Steelers plays.
Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars, also a divisional matchup. This is the AFC South. Texans just came off a hard loss that no one was expecting.
No.
So,
You upset?
even though
Jaguars are coming off a bye. They were on a bye last week.
they are coming off a bye, but even though they came off a bye, they're still the Jaguars, and I think ETN's been a little banged up. So we'll see. But it's not a big travel. You're going from Houston to Florida, still in the South. The weather is not going to be a huge implication in this game.
No.
It is a away game for the Texans, but I think a little sour taste in their mouth after last week. They're going to show up with some tenacity. Joe Mixon's going to get going. The biggest thing for the Texans is they're out Stephon Diggs. He's gone. He's out for the season. He's been out. They got to find a way to make it work, but Nico Collins,
What's his position?
wide receiver. Nico Collins, which I think one of you may have on your fantasy team, he's a dog. So they got to find a way to get that going. To set up the pass, you got to establish the run. And Joe Mixon is probably top 3 right now, running backs in the league. So you get that going,
Try to trade for him.
it's going to set up the pass. So well, you offered me nothing.
You offered me also.
You guys something. Think about it.
George Kittle is ranked so much lower, and his average points per game is so much lower than the guy that I have right now, George Kittle. So why? You got to give me...
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you have Kittle.
I would trade you Joe Mixon for probably in Jigba.
Interesting. And Jigba's doing really good, too.
But so is Mixon. So it would take the same caliber of player. I can't give up a Mixon for a guy that's not producing the same.
True.
I can't do it.
We'll
But...
talk about that.
I'm going to take the Texans.
Yeah, Texans.
Yeah.
Texans.
And so is Paul. So this is going to be a sweep. We'll talk about that off air.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody think that's a game of the week? Everybody hates the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
This screams...
I'm going to with me.
This game screams upset to me. This going to be a sweep because I'm going to take the Vikings. But this
it
screams
does
upset.
do a little bit of an upset because the Cardinals.
They're not a bad team.
No, they are actually the Angry Birds. They are really hungry.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Vikings.
I'll go Vikings.
It's Marvin Harrison, James Conner, and all that stuff. I'm Vikings though. I'm gonna fix that. Another sweep. Let me double check. He is Vikings. It is. All right, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots. This is probably the
sucker game of the
week.
I'm gonna go with the Colts.
I don't know. We haven't gone to the Seahawks yet. Hold on. Just kidding.
I'm not fighting that one, honestly.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not fighting it.
Let's start with Paul. He's not with us, so let's see what he chose. Colts. Yeah.
Same.
I don't know.
This is an interesting one. The Colts haven't proved anything to me. Obviously, neither the Patriots. They brought in Drake May. This might be a fun one just to mess around. But in previous weeks, when I've messed around, I've found out I'm not going to win that week.
So you learned.
Yeah. So if I want to win, I can't keep messing around and having fun. I'll take the Colts. But the fun side of me is like, oh, pick the Patriots. They could win. It's going to happen.
It's a better logo.
Was that your pick then? That's how this all started.
What is your pick?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm so indifferent on both of these teams.
Your battle right now, Verse.
I'm gonna go to the Colts.
Your battle, Hilton, is not with any. Your battle is with Paul. You got to get ahead of Paul. Where are you differentiating here? Lions, Cowboys, Packers, Chiefs, Falcons, Steelers, Texans, Vikings, Colts. You have no different picks than Paul. How are you ever going to get ahead of him?
Well, but that's how I can get under that.
Oh, you got a glass half empty mindset.
Maybe Paul is picking by the logos also.
I mean, look, Paul got 8. Let's not take this week into account. Week 11, he got 11. It was a good week for him. 7, 8, 9, 10, 9.
Yeah, but the one he
8,
got 10, I had 13.
9, 10. He's had some bad weeks here. But he's been doing okay. We're all within like 5 or 6 of each other, so it's nothing crazy, but Paul gets a little wild with some of these picks here and there. I think that's what has disserved him in the past, where he is like trying to go for an upset. Maybe now he's reeling it in a little bit, like we got to stop messing around.
Yeah.
Well,
Same way I'm getting.
because now there's more data. That's the same thing last year when it gets to this point, and I started looking more at the scores than the logo itself.
But it's the same thing that the projection in fantasy does to you, because that is also dealt from more data.
And it doesn't really do anything.
It does to a degree, like obviously
a little bit, but no.
because
really.
there's expectations.
We had a week that I was playing Corin, and then he scored 20 points more than projection, and I scored 20 less than a projection. And I was set to win, and I lost by like 30 points.
Well,
Happens.
it does happen, and that's kind of what I'm getting at here. We have more data on these teams, but at the end of the day, these are still human beings showing up to play a game against each other, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
These are grown men with families and kids.
Seahawks for me on this one.
Of course, yeah.
I'm definitely Seahawks on this one myself.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's a sweep, in it? Unless
Well, Jets. No, I'm just kidding. I felt like he would pick the Jets just.
See, he picks the Seahawks when he's not here.
Yeah.
But when he is here,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah, he does.
Well, he sees that matchup and he's like, "Oh, I can't pick the Jets."
Oh, man.
I'm still gonna start Garrett Wilson in my fantasy league this week. I think he has good.
You're gonna
points.
act
I
in the
just don't
next
think
two,
Jets
right?
win.
yes.
This
So-
one's for you, my friend.
This week we have the Titans at the Commanders.
What'd you think of my interpretation when you were gone? When we did the coffee
Pretty good.
episode?
It was pretty good. you have a deep voice, so it was pretty good.
I did my best.
I'll go commies.
I think we're probably going to sweep the commies.
Yeah.
Coming off an really upsetting loss to the shitty Dallas Cowboys last week. They can't lose again. Yeah, that's out of my mouth. Listen. We're not playing up to our standard. We're tanking. We should have lost to the Commanders. That would have been good for the tank, but we can't lose to the Giants this week. That's criminal.
That's where you're.
That's where I draw the line.
Draw the line, right?
Criminal. The
Buccaneers at the Panthers.
This
Buccaneers.
is a
Buccaneers,
NFC
dude.
South divisional matchup game, so it matters for the Buccaneers quite a bit because they are battling against the Saints, who are 4-7. So if they were to lose and go 5-7, and the Saints win, it's going to come down to divisional wins. They are also playing against the Panthers, and then who's the other NFC South team? Blanking.
Texas.
No, they're AFC South. I'm gonna look. The Falcons. It's the Falcons. So
Which is 6-5, so they
and
have to
I
win.
chose the Falcons to win at 6-5, but the Bucks are a game behind at 5-6. Very important game for the Buccaneers, and the
They
Panthers
gotta
have a
win.
game here where they're like, "Hey, we could really screw them up." It does happen. Bryce Young's been playing well. The Panthers. He started off really terrible. They benched him. He's come back. They've been all right. We're all probably going to sweep the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. This is all next week when we talk about it. Don't be surprised if there's an upset here.
Oh yeah.
There's too many sweeps.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But that's to your point. The more data that we have, the more we're going to agree, like, okay, this team should win. But you have to take into account, just because someone should win doesn't mean they're going to win. That's why I said I might mess around and say the Patriots, but I'm in the lead right now. I can't in good conscience do that. I'm playing defense. Y'all have to play offense. I'm playing defense.
Rams.
Shouldn't come down to this. But
I'll go Lakers on this one.
Yeah.
Saints for me,
Really? Preventing the sweep?
probably.
What? No, actually, Paul is also Saints. What about the Saints has you enticed to thinking that they're going to go? Just to be different? Just to give you an opportunity? No, not just to
Yeah.
give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
This is one of those where I
gotta change. I gotta choose one that is gonna be different. You know.
Puka Nacua, Cooper
Oh,
Kupp,
to know what?
Stafford, Kyron Williams. They've been playing too good.
That's a really good game of the week, isn't it?
Are you on second thought here for your?
I'm on a second thought for the game of the week. I just spotted that.
Did you already have a second game of the week?
No, I did not.
Do you want to do that as your second, or you want to give it a chance to breathe?
I want to. No, not that one, but the next one.
Eagles at Ravens?
Yeah.
That's my game one of the week.
I'll put
That's
put
gonna be
game
my
2
second.
on the Steelers, and I'll put game 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I didn't go down the full list till just now. I'm gonna have to take back my Steelers Bengals one.
Yeah.
Which actually no, that's hard. This is hard. I have 3 games of the week. I've got
do?
3. I
Can't do it. Only 2.
I make the rules.
Established that rule already.
No, I said that if you're the upset, it's not worth 2 points. That was the only place I put my foot down in the sands that you can't cross that line. I'll pick 2. But I will do an honorable mention for the 3rd.
Yeah, exactly.
We can
You
do
you
honorable
make it-
mention.
You can make
We can do one.
Honorable mention.
I'm okay with that. I'm all right with
I
that.
like the sound. I like the sound of honorable mention. I like that.
This compromise.
This is so YouTube, right? So
We have the Battle of the Birds.
I still haven't had the time to create a scene
Ravens.
for that.
The Philadelphia Eagles 9-2
yes.
against the Baltimore Ravens 8-4. Both with incredible running backs. Saquon Barkley versus Derrick Henry. You have Lamar Jackson versus Jalen Hurts.
That's your guy, right? In the league, Jackson, right?
Yes. And then we have AJ Brown. Yeah. Zay Flowers. This is a matchup. This should be a good game. This should be a good game. This is Paul's pick of the. This is game of the week.
Yes,
my
I want
second.
to change mine to my
my
first game
second.
of the week, and then put the Steelers as a second.
George second.
Conrad won. First game of the week.
All right, Mr. Hexagon. Who are we picking? I'm taking the Ravens.
Eagles.
Me too.
You know why this is tough?
Ravens.
In one of my leagues, I have Lamar Jackson, and you have Jalen Hurts. In my other league, I have Jalen Hurts. So, and I also in the same league, I have Lamar Jackson. I have AJ Brown. So I need both offenses to go off.
Yeah.
That's what I need. So I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Me too.
Paul is gonna take the Ravens.
I'm taking the Ravens.
All coming down to you, Mr. Conrad.
Eagles.
Saving the sweep.
I am.
Yeah.
This is your game of the week.
Not at all.
You told me it was game of the week.
Yeah, I was. But, you're because you were down on the 49ers and Bills.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
No, that's not my game of the week.
So I just meant that one.
Yeah.
So apparently in Buffalo, there's going to be a crazy ice storm coming in. Snowmageddon. Could be a foot of snow.
I'm Builders.
Yes.
So I'm taking the
Same.
Bills.
Yes.
Same.
Bills.
This
49ers
was
are
originally going to be my game of the week, but after reading this one, I'm like, man, I think this Eagles Ravens has got to be my game of the week. Is my game 2 going to be Bills and Niners or Steelers Bengals? But I think there's more implication with the Steelers Bengals, so I'm going to have to keep it the same. My honorable mention
It's the Builders.
is the Niners at the Bildos. That's my honorable mention. But I am going to take the Bills.
Yep.
And I'm going to write Bildos because that's what I like.
Builders for me.
Yeah.
Bills for all. of us.
Sweep.
Playing in the snow, that's what they do. Last year, they're like deep in snow, remember?
Yep.
Wow.
It was incredible. And it was like a lot of Builders fans in there. And
No,
it's like,
there's
wow.
pictures already where the stadium is under snow.
Right now?
Foot and a half, 2 feet.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to have to clear it out.
Be fun.
Monday Night Football. Cleveland Browns at the Denver Broncos. Unless we're looking for an upset here, this would be another
sweep in it.
friggin' sweep.
I'm going with the suckers.
Yes.
Which are not sucking that much.
When was the Broncos? Yeah. Same here.
Same.
This is our first week in quite a while. 16 games, no bye.
I'm gonna put that as game 2 of my for me.
Browns and Broncos?
Yeah. No one's expecting it, but I feel like it'll be a closer battle.
Hey, but you don't like the Broncos.
I don't.
I don't dislike the Broncos. I don't like Sean Payton.
They've turned
Bo Nix is
around
pretty
this
good.
year. Yeah.
Paul called this out at the beginning when we started all this. He said, Bo Nix is going to be a guy.
Yeah.
He's right. Bo Nix
He's
has
actually playing pretty good, yeah.
took him a while. Playing pretty good right now. So, that is our
Battle of
week
logos.
13 slate of the
That's
Battle
a
of
lot
Logos.
of sweeps. How many sweeps?
1, 2, 3,
16
4,
minus
5,
4,
6.
12.
12 sweeps.
This is going to break a record for most sweeps.
Right.
So this is where the witching hour happens a little bit, right? So the only differentials is Bagel, Falcon, Charger. That's a chance for you to one-up me.
Yeah.
We got Rams, Raven, Eagles, another chance to one-up me. I'm only up a point. Conrad could jump me this week, just like he did the previous week. Conrad won last week. He had the most points for it. Now it's me.
Yep.
So I think future showing a little battle happening here, and then we got a little sneaker over here, George, coming up, being real quiet.
Only 2 points behind.
But every week he's there. He's not dying quietly. He's there.
I'm trading by a lot.
No, it's just 7. It's just that because we only have 5 more weeks.
It's just 7, but when we're having sweeps like that, there's only 4 opportunities to even have a different. That's what I'm saying. So it's an opportunity to lose more, but if you're already tied for last place, reach for the stars.
That's the thing. I don't know if I want to go Patriots. I don't know.
I'll give you about 10 seconds to decide, and then when this page is closed, it's locked.
I'm good. I'll go cool.
Yeah, fuck the Patriots.
Okay, so tell me what happened. Tell me what happened in Formula One.
Las Vegas.
I did not
Max
watch it.
Verstappen has all but won the championship. I think it was locked in this week.
Yeah, all that's open right now is for the manufacturers.
Constructors,
So,
championship.
drivers is decided. 4 titles in a
row?
In a row, and
Has it ever been done before? When was the last time it was done?
Schumacher did 5, Hamilton did 4, and now
So he's tied Hamilton.
Fangio had
Vettel had 4.
yeah. So Fangio
Vettel had 4.
Fangio was
With
the
Red
first
Bull?
one, had 4. Fangio had 4, and then Michael had 5,
With
and
who did Michael have 5 with?
Ferrari.
All in a row.
yeah. And then we had Vettel, and
Red Bull.
then Hamilton, and then now Verstappen.
Mercedes, and then back to Red Bull again. So
Yeah.
Red Bull is starting to catch up with these big dogs
Yeah.
in terms of championships.
Hey,
Yeah.
the other big news in Formula One,
Cadillac.
Cadillac
Cadillac is the
GMC.
new team, right?
2026. They're going to be using a Ferrari motor for the first couple of years, and then they're going to be switching over.
Who is
to
doing their chassis though?
I don't know.
Like
I
the
didn't-
name, right? So
I didn't see.
it's good to see
GMC Cadillac.
Cadillac
Dude,
in Formula
I'm gonna-
One, man.
I'm going
This
to
is-
rep the shit out of Cadillac.
I've seen renders it's like black and gold. I'd have to see what colors they actually come out with. But yeah, you have to. I have to
But
rep it.
do you understand? Like, it's an American brand, right in the heart of the sport.
Yeah.
That is, I have to say
It's
that
a lot better than Haas.
there is one thing that the Americans do not understand about Formula One. The Formula One is a long game. Long game. It's like it's a 20 years game. And American corporations is all about we gotta make money next year.
Got to win and win
Yeah.
fast.
And then that's the difference. It's the cultural difference. It's like the European culture is like, yeah, we've been here for 4,000 years. So I'm going to build a team that in 20 years' time is going to win. Right?
Can I just add to what you're saying? On the other hand, do you think I think Formula One came to the United States to stay. It's here to stay. Today is the third
yeah.
most sport watched. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's above. I think it's only the NBA and the NFL.
NFL.
So it's here to stay. So maybe Cadillac is doing exactly that. You know, like, okay, I'm going to be the first American.
Well, Haas is.
Yes, but
Before.
But
yeah.
Haas doesn't sound American.
I just had like a networking event this Tuesday. There was a lady, and she's on actually. I think she's on Paul's group. Her name is Tamara Haas.
Yeah, but you know, like I'm saying, like at this movement of America embracing Formula One, it's Cadillac is the first brand that gets into that because now they're here. So maybe Cadillac is playing the long game. You know, so I'm gonna get this all the publicity. I'm gonna enjoy the publicity. If it goes wrong, fine. If it goes right, even better.
But that's the thing, you know why? Well, yes, I understand that. At the same time, it's like if Cadillac doesn't do well, it's bad publicity.
Yeah, it is.
And
yeah.
then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's exactly that. It is Formula One.
Well,
it's
there's
not an
this
easy sport to be in. It's not
Rule is
easy.
like all publicity is good publicity, in a sense. Like even if they're saying bad things, they're still talking.
And
So-
it's great for Cadillac to
If a
succeed in
company
Formula
can
One.
keep throwing money at a problem, Cadillac should be able to do that. So my hope is that if they have a bad first couple of years, 5
Yes.
years, they don't give up and stay in the sport. That's
Yeah.
what I would want.
They will have a bad couple of years. because that's just the nature of
What's
the
the nature of the
sport.
Not the best pilots.
Right, they
and
won't-
the race
They
race
won't have
drivers.
the best
I'm
engineers
sorry, the engineers and,
Yeah.
and drivers. Too.
because they won't have the best engineers, and
No.
that's actually most of it.
That's the
you know?
most
Yeah.
important part.
And then the drivers that will consistently be good at, it's like you have some outliers like Verstappen and Hamilton that they will. Right now, Hamilton's old, and he still runs the same level as a young guy.
Yeah.
So that tells you how good he is. Because when he was young, he was, faster than anybody else.
If you put him in a dominant car, he's still
Yes,
a threat.
yes. And then even if it's not a dominant car, like
That's what it has been.
like Verstappen, right? So, and then when you compare like an old driver like Perez and Verstappen and being a younger driver, and then he's so much faster with a non-dominant car, it tells how good the driver is. So, but you still have to put a good package, and the good package is the car itself, right? So, if the car is undrivable, and you cannot do anything about it.
Well, I'm gonna miss Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Yeah.
He was fun.
He was fun. But we have Yuki Tsunoda, which is also fun.
Okay, but let me tell you what we really
Pinto.
have to be talking about is that which position the Alpine left.
Gasly?
Yes, Gasly. What was the position? Was it
yeah.
third position? He was in third position.
Where did he finish? Third?
No, he got the engine
Blew up.
blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was,
yeah.
but he was in third.
Yeah.
That's where he qualified.
Do you know what? The team
Third.
gives you a good car, and then you blow up the engine, and that's how bad he is.
Oh, do you think it was him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
Man, you're
course.
so picky, man. When it's I can see that Hamilton would never make any mistakes.
Oh,
No.
never. It's not ever his
Come
fault.
on,
No.
it was an injustice made.
No, I
He
don't
was
care.
third.
He was,
Alpine.
It was lucky. It was. it
Oh,
was
right.
lucky.
He's been lucky for like 5 or 6 runs.
No.
he
Yeah.
drew the short stick when he was born. He's French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rumor has it
Could have been American.
Mick Schumacher is going to be the lead pilot or driver for Cadillac.
Oh, fuck.
That'd be actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
good.
that's
But I
that,
think
or they
it
lands
lands European.
It would be better if
With
Alonso
him at Williams.
was on that
It's
team.
good to have an European caliber.
It's
A main
2026. He might do
caliber.
it.
Yeah.
To your brand,
Right.
associated to your brand too, you know?
I think it's a
He's
combination
in
of they
front
need
of
an
Aston
American
Martin.
one to grab the
Wow.
American
Who's the new
attention
engineer?
and
Aston
the
Martin.
European
Oh,
one.
I knew it.
Exactly,
A
yeah,
little
you
bit of
know?
both. Yeah.
But
He's a
one
new
should be
man.
American.
Yes. They're saying Carlton Herta. I think.
Uh-huh.
A year at a time. Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy
Jeez.
Thanksgiving.
Long podcast.
I know. If you're still with us, we appreciate you.
And comment, please.
And if you're not with us, thank you anyways.
Thanks. Like,
Comment.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Comment.
Share.
do all the things, and we will see you
Next week.
right on time.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Au revoir.